Hi, welcome to the broadcast, and now it's time for Darlington. Puddin's going to go through the intro with you guys again.
Welcome to Giggity Racing, guys. We just had one hell of a race at Watkins Glen. Mr. MP Roofer himself, the UK guy, the English master Robbie Vids, Fat Patch out of Pennsylvania. This is Puddin. Darlington, guys. What do you think is going to happen?
Roofer?
Anything is possible here at Darlington, but I'm gonna tell you guys, a guy that he still had a top 10 finish at Watkins Glen, but a guy that is probably a lot of people is gonna underestimate here is Kevin Mason. Watch out for him because he has a clutch and a shifter. And this is a track you can save massive amounts of fuel with the clutch and shifter. So if it comes down to gas, that's going to be really important here.
It's something we talked about earlier at Watkins Glen, Fat Patch, Robbie, and Roofer. Passing. Not an easy task. It's hard to handle the car. It's hard to stay off the wall. Then you bring other cars into it and you want that position. We said it earlier. Stage points. Every position counts. The playoffs are coming up. These guys want everything they can get. Passing's going to be very difficult here, and I think throttle control and tire wear is going to be something we bring up tonight too, guys.
Most definitely. You almost got to pull over, on the straightaway to let someone pass because you can't go too wide in these corners. It's hard enough for one car to go through the corner without bouncing off the wall. So, I mean, it's not one of those racetracks where you can ride side by side. Something's going to happen, but you've got to pick your passing spots, perfectly, and that's going to be key tonight.
Patch, let me ask you a question. You being a dirt car driver, Fat, we hear slider a lot. We hear slider a lot at Michigan. We hear slider a lot at Auto Club. Darlington, I think if you're going to make a patch, how many times are we going to say, there it goes, boys and girls, the slider tonight at Darlington, Fat?
I am a dirt driver, but sliders are a certain thing on dirt that are pullable. I don't think a slider is an option here at Darlington, only because Darlington's all about having that entry and exit, and there's no line here at Darlington. Honestly, I mean, it's more of a one-lane track. It's really hard to drive too wide of this track and keep your car steady and straight. So a slider here, I don't think we'll see a slider. I think the only sliding we'll see going on here is if somebody hits the apron. That's the only sliding I think we'll see here tonight at Darlington.
MP Roofer, you got 1 and 2, and you got 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. One's really tight, one's wide. Where would you make your passes if the opportunity arose?
And the wider part, like I think you said 3 and 4 is a little wider. I would try in 3 and 4, and hopefully the guys, if they see somebody come up in their mirror really fast when they get on a straightaway, hopefully they have the consideration to pull down a little bit and just let that guy go, and then jump up right behind him and catch his draft. Don't hold him up, because that's just going to cause enemies, and you don't want to have any enemies on a track like this, because Darlington, the track itself, can be your enemy. So you just, like I said, pick your poison carefully, because you don't want to create, even more drama for yourself, I guess you would say.
You used one word that I was going to ask to Robbie, so real quick, that the draft. You said draft. That was my question for Robbie. Do you think the draft's going to be a major effect here, Robbie? And give you that.
I think most people are going to probably end up trying pulling out the draft, especially when they come into the corner, because if that draft catches you while you're going into turns 1 and 3, then it's just going to pull you straight into the wall. Well, that's what I find anyway. Some drivers are different and they will use it to their advantage and throw it to the inside, but I like to stay out of it.
And actually,
not to interrupt. Go ahead.
I was actually going to, before I cut you off there, Puddin, sorry about that. I was actually going to say about the draft being a thing here is, it could pull your car a little bit too hard, and especially if you're catching that draft on the corner of 3 and 4, that exit, like I said time and time again, that exit on turn 4 is a little bit scary, because there is that little weird bump there before you go straight again, where it likes to kick your car to the left.
Yep.
If you don't take it just right, play a big factor here tonight on seeing some wrecks.
Now, being
One
on
of
a
the
slider
main.
scale, guys, which slider do you think we're going to run? Oh, sorry, Roofer.
No, no problem. Either a 5 or a 6. Maybe some guys a 4, but a 5 or 6. It seems like everybody. I ran a lot of practice, at least 3 or 4 or 5 times with them earlier. But the main thing that I noticed is I think we're doing like a 13% race, which will put everybody like 4 laps shy of fuel. And all the guys that had wheels and clutches were able to make it to the finish, where all the guys that were on controller were 3 or 4 laps short and had to make a pit stop. So if the stages kind of fall out like that tonight, that to me, that's going to be really important.
To me, guys, Roofer keeps hinting at an advantage. Keeps hinting at wheel and clutch to save fuel.
Yes, I actually thought you had to have a shifter. I found out earlier you don't have to
I'm
have a
just
shifter to
gonna
save
blue
fuel.
screen real quick. I'm just on blue screen. I can't hear you properly while on blue screen. I wasn't actually given the go-ahead to join the lobby yet, but I've seen a comment in the comments section saying Darlington by the person who runs the league, so I'm just going to quickly go in and check and see if they're actually racing yet.
Something to do with the computer. The volume wasn't turned up all the way. I do love the program, how it had the banner at the top, Giggity Racing League, and in the corner it had a lap counter. It was just, the volume was just a little bit low. As we do got qualifying results here. Let's see.
Looks
Trying
like
to figure
Wicked
out.
Gatekeeper's in 5th, H-Rout's in 6th. That's what I see right now. K. Larson's in 7th. I can't see above the top 5 guys, but RJ Smitty 8th, Chuckmate Taylor 9th, K. Taddy in 10th on that new wheel, RKM in 11th. We got K-Mac, Lisa Plant, and then Robbie Vince is in 14th. I don't know why you're in 14th, Robbie.
Uh,
Just
I'm not
kidding.
you
quite
guys are
sure
looking
either.
at the wrong lap. You guys are looking at the wrong lap times there, boys. You guys are looking at lap times
There it
for
is. It looks like
walk-ins to Glen.
Noko's on.
Yeah,
Aha.
that's what we got.
Those are the walk-ins to Glen final
That's
lap
right.
times.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well,
That
the
would make a
fresh
lot of
lap
sense.
times are going to come.
Broadcasting error, and I apologize.
The fresh lap times are going to come through shortly, and I'm hoping to grab a quick peek at the lap times. It's certain that we don't really get to see much, and I'll back out before the timer starts and then rejoin the race, and then we can see who starts pole.
In practice earlier, which we didn't have everybody that's racing tonight in that practice, maybe half, RKM was really fast. He was like almost 2 or 3 tenths faster than everybody. They were hitting like 29 fives. RKM was hitting 29 twos. So I believe he is going to have a really strong chance of starting up front if he can have a good qualifying session. So I'd like to see him have a good race, just because, not only because he's one of my team owners, Canuck is part of DSR for this season, and he's just one of them considerate guys.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. I've got to quickly run through this because I've got a minute to do it. So on the pole we have RJ Smitty. In second we have Blakey T. In third, try and catch it here. In third, Book Racing actually got the third. Yeah, Noko got third there. So Book Racing got second. Sorry. In fourth we have
Mills.
Mills. Yep. In fifth, A Trout. In sixth, Life's a Plant. He actually got sixth. RKM. He got the 7th spot there. In 8th was Wicked Gatekeeper. In 9th we have
Checkmate Taylor.
Checkmate Taylor, and I'm just going to round it off to the top 10 here. In 10th we have K-Max, so that's where they're going to be starting on the grid. I'm going to back out this lobby and then rejoin when the race starts.
Yeah, sorry about that there, Robbie. I was actually looking at the same screen you were.
No
I was actually able to check it on somebody. I was actually on somebody else's stream here. Or not
Okay.
stream, but
I just get
I can hear the
when the
broadcast in
race
the
is ready.
background. If so, whoever's got the broadcast in the background, if they can take the volume down for me, please.
Whenever it's ready, guys, if I can get an invite to the lobby, not to join, but just spectate here. But I'm excited, guys, and like I said, I really do. Watching city racing, whether it be Xfinity or Cup racing. I did watch some of the truck races and stuff before I participated. I literally get up and pace because the racing that we have here. If you guys think you have what it takes out there in YouTube land, come give Giggity Racing a chance. Ask MP Roofer, ask Fat Patch, ask myself, ask Robbie Vids. We can get you in to the administrators. They will walk you through how everything works, and come test yourself. We are always looking for new talent, and we want to see how fast you guys are, because like I said, last night we were in a 10-on-10 battle, and majority of our drivers were Giggity, and we came out on top last night. It was a lot of fun. But come on, guys, let's see what you guys got. Come join us.
And it's not just asphalt we have. We also have a dirt league as well. And I also have a couple drivers that go from Giggity to a Friday night league as well. And we know there's a Giggity Tuesday night custom league that we have for dirt. And there's also a Friday night league that is not Giggity, but a lot of Giggity drivers race that as well. So
Well,
yeah,
technically, it is
I'd like to get
Giggity.
into that dirt with you, Zach, because I love dirt racing, especially as a dirt car guy, dirt motorcycle guy. I got to get with you so I can participate in that dirt racing league, because I'm anxious to join that.
yeah, like I said, Friday nights is the only non-Giggity league, but a lot of Giggity drivers race it. But Tuesday nights is the best. I mean, that's the best racing that I've ever seen on dirt. You know, a lot of good, fast drivers, clean racing. You know, that's a great league. I love racing. That's one of my biggest things to look forward to on a Tuesday night is going to race dirt, and it's a lot of tight points. I'll tell you what. I joined a little late, and I'm actually up there around 15th in points, and I was actually surprised to see myself up there that far because I'm not the best with those guys because they're fast and a lot of good fast dirt drivers. I mean, some of the best in the business on the dirt out there in Heat 4.
I got to broadcast one of your dirt races, that, and just like road courses, just like everything else on pavement, like you're fast on dirt. It was an honor to watch you race that night, Matty.
Yeah, so I have to say there's one of my better ones. I'm learning on asphalt. You know, I get a little nervous on a straight line next to some people because I know they're faster and they just kind of like to give you their respect on the track, but I just kind of let them go past me. But on dirt, I'll give you your run for your money there on dirt.
Okay, so we're going to quickly blue screen. Just a reminder, when it's on blue screen, they don't hear you, so just bear with me a second. Yeah, they'll hear me, but they won't be able to hear you guys. They can hear me, they can't hear you, you melon.
Still,
Okay,
Don sometimes
and we're
he's got to
back.
go to work for Giggity.
Right, so you guys all got an invite, ain't you?
No,
I
sir.
do.
Yes, sir.
I
Yeah.
don't have one.
That once I get in, I'll get you, buddy.
Okay, yeah, I was a late schedule on the booth tonight, so I don't believe that Taddy knew about me being in the booth tonight.
Can we go ahead and take it?
Yes.
DM?
Accept
Okay.
your invite. Yes, accept it. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And the only reason I know that is I'm on Giggity and I can see it loading in, and I'm about a second behind. I have my delay set to. So.
Gotcha.
So, a bit of news anyway from what happened in Watkins Glen with Noco was he actually got caught up a little bit with Lysa Plant, and yeah, that's sort of what happened, what you see at the end of the race there with Noco. So, sorry to hear that, dude, and hopefully you do better in this one.
Yeah, Noco. Noco will definitely be, you know, all those guys up front, or all those, all those guys that are fast on the circle tracks, you know, they're the guys to look out for tonight. As we can see, Blakey T and Buck running up here first and second, battling. I believe it's Noko behind him in third, and fourth place I believe is.
Oh, is that Mills that actually spun out there, coming out of that turn?
Oh, I couldn't see that. Oh, yes, I believe that was Mills there.
Yep.
Yes, I just caught the last. I'm still here on the stream here watching. I believe that was Mills that got loose. And once again, that was on turn 4. So that's that scary turn. That's the one you got to watch out for. You know, you gas it too
Noko
early.
to the point, guys. Noko got a little bit of run on Blakey T. Blakey T's making that dive bomb down in there, trying to keep it above the white line. But Noko's not giving him a lot of room, and we talked about this. Not a lot of room too fast here to begin with. Blakey T comes down to that apron.
Yeah, Blakey
right
got loose. That's like I said once again, guys. That's that turn 4, man. That turn 4. I've said it time and time again. Is a scary place to gas it too soon. Because that right there is what happens to the car. You know, that bump is really big, and he did it again there, it looks like.
I was just going to say, that's 2 very uncharacteristic mistakes we see from Blakey at one of his preferred tracks, guys. But this is what Noko wants to see. He wants to see Blakey T make some mistakes. He wants that clean air, and once you do that, I'm sorry, boys and girls, but you do not want to give Noko an advantage like clean air.
Yeah, Noko gets in that clean air, and he is gone sometimes in that clean air. But what, go ahead, Roofer, as you were saying?
Well, no, Noko, as I've seen, this is our the Saturday night Cup Series. It's like old school points where consistency counts, but the Sunday is actual playoff format, and Noko is one spot out of making a cut line. So it will not surprise me if he runs as hard as he can to try to get this win to make his way into that last playoff spot. It's pretty close. I will actually try to go to the points and give y'all how close it is here.
Yeah, and this track will definitely make and break a lot of drivers here because it's especially on the slider setup. I mean, it's real hard to keep that car consistent and smooth for as many laps as these guys are here racing here tonight. And we saw Noko here tap the wall a little bit. I don't think that'll hurt him too much because Blakey T is sniffing his trail and trying to catch back up to him as best he can.
Blakey T, we got to speak with him after his win there at Watkins Glen. Said he was excited to come here to Darlington. He had a mindset already. They're not turning right, they're turning left, guys, and he said he likes it. This is one of his better tracks. So maybe Blakey T made those couple mistakes, got loose. It's probably best for him just to settle in, don't push too hard, save your car, knowing that you've got something for these boys up front. But at the same time, Noko says, I've got more.
I do have our point standings, guys, actually, and Noko, he is really racing hard because he is, for the last playoff spot, he's only 39 points behind, and the guy he was battling with did not race tonight, Larson.
Oh, that's an advantage, yeah.
Right, so he can walk. Larson is racing, actually. I see him on the ticker up there in the 8 car. Sorry about that, but he is really battling hard. It's only a 39-point difference, and if he wins these stages and wins this race, he can make that 39 points up really quickly.
So I have the top 5 so far, and top five drivers right now are Noko, Blakey T, Trout, Buck, K-Mac, and RK.
You just mentioned a name that we didn't get to say very much on the Clint, who normally runs up front. We normally see H. Trout put up there in that top 5, if not in the leader pack sometimes, guys. So maybe Watkins Glen wasn't the opportunity for H. Trout, but he said, hey, put me back up some left turns. Let me show you what I got. H. Trout wanted to be watched tonight.
Oh, and K-Mac just tried to make a move on Buck there and actually put himself in the wall and then Buck into the wall after that. So
that's unfortunate.
No. Well, it was no damage, I don't think, and nothing got too bad there, but just a little bit of a wrong spot, wrong time there on a pass by K-Mac, attempted pass by K-Mac.
We got a message from Dirty South Racing Network. Good luck to the guys, and thanks for tuning in to Roofer in the booth here, guys. So thanks for Dirty South Racing.
That's me. But yeah, man. Like I said, I can see K-Mac all the way up to 5th. I believe he is good, like the guy that you would not, normally, like the Nokos up front, the Smitty's up front. He's not a guy that, here at Giggity, here lately, guys are like, K-Mac's really dominating, but this is one of his really good tracks, and he does have the shifter, so he can even save even more fuel than the guys that don't have the shifter, so he can pop his actually in neutral and save massive amounts of gas. So that's going to be key, I think, here tonight.
Looks like as
As
the
well.
cars get spread out, guys, one of the better races out here is between Buck back here, and then you
K-Mac.
got K-Mac and H-Trout. These guys are that looks like one of the better battles on the track as they spread out. And a lot of people want to see that, though. They just want to get spread out. They want to run their race. Bunched up here at Darlington, we've already mentioned it more than one time. It gets difficult, but this is the closest race of the battle. These guys are trying to get every inch they can. A little bit higher line, a little bit lower line. Let's see how that plays out for them.
K-Mac is really trying his hardest to get around Buck here, and Buck, I think, was trying his hardest to get around Trout, so it's like these guys are just trying to work around each other and try and get, K-Mac's really looking to get past Buck. He's tried about twice now and had to let off and actually just hit the wall there.
Here he goes.
On turn 2, but Buck
Like
got around Trout.
Buck made the pass, but look, there comes Trout back
Trout's
there.
coming right back. Oh,
There's that
they're
high
side by
low.
side.
I wouldn't call that a slider, but I would definitely come close to saying it there just a little bit. There's that high-low, backing into corner up, get that acceleration coming through, guys.
Yeah, so that looked like more of a crossover there, attempted crossover, but...
Yeah, that's a better word, that's a better word, yeah.
Slams the wall, and now he loses 1, but 2 spots.
And that's not good. Again, this is not, a major aero track, but you do not want to get any damage if possible. But the Darlington stripe, we've said it once, we've said it twice, it is notorious. If you don't come away with the Darlington stripe, then you aren't racing hard enough, guys.
Yeah, that
You're
Darlington
exactly
stripe will
right.
definitely pop out and get you here. And now we see Buck actually right back on K-Mac's bumper here, trying to make a move, and we see them, Trout and K-Mac both get loose on exit.
Yeah, I'm noticing Blakey T is still getting exit or loose on exit, which is making me think maybe he's running a 7 maybe on a slider, and whenever he comes in the pits, maybe he might tighten that thing up a little.
We just see a couple cars making some early pit stops, maybe? I don't know. I saw a car down pit road. I saw another car below the apron here. Car in the grass on turn 2 or turn 3 and 4. Turn 3
Looks
and
like
4,
Buck
yeah.
just got in. Looks like Buck just got into the wall, and I can't see who's driving that camo
tapped in the
48 car. That's
wall.
Sphincter. Sphincter's up there with Buck now after Buck made that mistake. And now we got RJ Smitty. RJ Smitty's passing Kate Taddy. Then we got Sphincter right there with him. Sphincter and Taddy going side by side in the corner. Sphincter makes the pass. He's coming up there too. A name we haven't said before at the Glen. Another great racer here in Giggity. Man, these guys were fighting hard back here in the middle of the pack.
Most definitely.
Car
And
around,
another
car
thing-
just spun in
I
3 and
heard.
4.
This is the oldest track on a NASCAR surface, and it is really abrasive. If they are on 3 times wear, they will be pitting really often. You're going to see a lot more green flag pit stops than at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that's what we were saying in the pre-race earlier, just before you got in, Roofer, that this is one of the oldest tracks on there. It was built in the 50s, so it's actually a dirt track. It was paved in 54, 55, if I remember correctly from what I read in the plaque. But holds one of the most historic races. You have the Daytona 500, you have the Brickyard 400, but everybody wants to check the Southern 500 off their list. They call it a bookmark race for a reason, guys.
Yes, I remember the year that actually Jamie McMurray, he won the Daytona 500, the Indy 500, and the Southern 500 all in one year. And I know Jamie McMurray is not known as, one of the top elite NASCAR drivers, but there's not many people that have accomplished that feat all in the same year.
Oh, Sphincter hit the wall. But no, what you just said, the big 3, the big 4, each driver has, if they have a race in their home state, they want to check that off because that's their home track for them. But yeah, if you can go and knock those races off, it's an honor. And J-Mac did that year at 3 very historic tracks.
Right. Well, as we see Noco starting to get a little loose off the exit, and so is Blakey. They still haven't been in the pits to make any adjustments, so that don't surprise me. They might be starting off on a high slider and then plan on tightening it up in that first pit stop. But Noco right now, he is just on a mission. He wants in them playoffs, and if there's any guy that can make up 40 points, it is Noco. He is really not only probably the strongest team owner in the league, he has a all-around team. He's one of our better drivers in the league, as well as he could have ran the esports last year. but had to turn down the opportunity because he's a business owner and he just didn't have enough time. So a lot of people don't know that about NOCO, but yes, he could have been in season 1 of esports, but actually had to turn down the offer. So really respected guy here, really good guy.
Let me ask you guys, we'll go in this order. We'll go with Fat, then we'll go with Robbie, and then we'll go with Roofer. Of the 3 big races we just mentioned, the Indy 500, the Brickyard, the Daytona, or the Southern 500, if you guys had an opportunity to drive a Cup car and could win one race, what one would it be? Me personally, Daytona 500 is huge, but the Indy 500 has a special, or the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has a special motor spot in my heart. There's a lot of emotional reasons there, but I would pick the Brickyard for me. But let's go Fat, Roofer, Robbie right there. What tracks would you pick out of those 3 elite races?
I'm going Daytona. Going fast and fast. That's why I'm taking Daytona.
I love about
a Cup car going around 200 miles an hour, 205 miles an hour. That'd be awesome. I'd rather win that race because it's fast and fun.
Right. I live about 2 hours away from Daytona International Speedway, so it would technically be my home track, and I've been there quite a bit.
Like if he gets loose, guys. Sorry. Go ahead.
That would have to be my pick as well. If I could win any race, it would definitely be the Daytona 500 myself. What about you, Robbie?
Well, since I've won the Daytona already, I'll have to go with another one and say Indy.
There you go. Well, I actually won Daytona, but it was pretty much like the Bud Shootout. It was a preseason. There was 30-something people in there, though, so it was still not easy. But it wasn't a points race, but I have won at Daytona. But
I mean, I run smaller dirt cars in real life, and I run sportsmans, and I will say, some of the tracks that I've ran, on some of the smaller tracks that I've won, it was actually really cool because, even though you're on a small track with, a lot of good guys, it feels like you're winning a Daytona 500 or an Indy 500 or, something like that in asphalt. It's just, being around a certain group of guys and just running your car a certain way and just the heat, the feeling, the smell, and just, it's awesome. It's a great feeling just to win a race that you think.
Plants hit the wall and spun out there.
Yeah, that was a big contact right there. I just happened to see that right as you said that.
As you were saying that you drove a real race car in real life here, K-Mac, he is actually one of the, he drives a unlimited late model here in Florida, and is actually a well-known asphalt driver in the state of Florida, and he actually told me the inside story of how the guy got, how he lost the snowball derby because he had titanium pieces on his brake caliber, so that's how Travis Braden ended up with the snowball derby win. So, but it's just cool to have people like that know the insides and out, and they drive real race cars in real life, and then they still jump on here, and this is their hobby when it's winter time and they can't be at the track full time.
That was a big me. If it wasn't for Robbie, I wouldn't have gotten Heat 3, let alone Heat 4, because unfortunately the last one I had was 08. I'm not going to name drop manufacturers or branders out there, but they ruined NASCAR for me. Again, racing motorcycles, I did race some cars in my life. It wasn't as realistic as what I thought it was going to be. And if it wasn't for Robbie, he wouldn't have brought me over to the Heat community, let alone Giggity. So I like what they've done to up it, and I think that's why Fat's so fast on dirt sometimes, is because he has the concept. He knows he just doesn't go get a setup and put it in. He knows what each adjustment makes, just like a lot of these drivers out here, like you said, with K-Mac and NOCO. Everybody knows what each adjustment means and why they're doing it, not just because somebody on the internet said, hey, this is what to do.
Right. They know what the real adjustments do in real life, so they kind of already know where to start, on how to set up.
I'm not gonna lie, real setup in this game means nothing, because I put a real setup in this game before on a dirt, and I put my car on turn 1, so.
I've heard that as well.
And it looks like Blakey T guy back here. Blakey T's getting some pressure. It looks like they're coming in lap traffic. I don't know if that's a lap car or not. But I've been watching Blakey T. I haven't left the cam yet. Just curiosity kills the cat, just to see if he can gain or lose as he's going down below that white line, letting that 8 car go behind him. I think that 8 car's Kate Larson. Yeah, that 8 car I believe was Kay Larson, but I think Blakey T's starting to fade just a little bit here, guys. Let's see what his strategy is for pitting. And we have yet to see one of them bright yellow, not good flags, so that's a good sign, guys. These guys are going to do green flag pit stops before the stage, it looks like.
Yeah, I know Larson's going to be battling as hard as he can because, like I said, he's only got a 30-something point lead over Novco, and I'm not sure how many races we have left before the playoff starts. I believe maybe 2. But they're really battling for every position, you know, because it all comes down to one stage. You could be in the playoffs or out of the playoffs. You know, it's really tight because all these competitors are all, you know, they all deserve to be in the cup. You get to the cup level, you're not going to find no guys out there that are just really aggressive and going to wreck people. It's all guys that are fast but clean as well. As Blakey T is still getting really loose. I'm surprised he hasn't come in and made his pit stop yet. As soon as I said that, he's actually, him and Noco both come down pit road. Which I believe is going to hand the lead off over to the 8 of Larson. Or no, maybe Buck, actually. Sorry about that.
No, I believe
like
Buck
I said earlier,
Fat
and I have raced with Blakey T quite a bit, and again, he just somehow can maintain a car on worn tires and be consistent. And I think consistency is a word we haven't brought up tonight, but that could be something to be thought about too. Consistency, and I think that was a right pits move. I'm starting to learn better about pit strategy and pitting with the leaders. If you can hold out that long, is best. T. Clay, Robbie, Fat, Roofer, you helped me out with some of that. I'm starting to learn, so maybe that was a smart move by him holding out there, being good on old tires, going with the leader so he doesn't lose them that much. As
Exactly.
we see Noco leaving the pit right before him, so let's see how it pans out. But you guys have really taught me a lot about pit strategy. Pit strategy kind of digged me a little bit the other night when I had the opportunity to race that I was in the
Ooh,
developed race
Noco
there.
off pit road almost. Oh, he saved it. What a save.
Oh, and he's back on the track and actually went on the track a little hard there and cut off the 9 and the 21, I believe, of Mills, and that cost the 9 car a spot and maybe some more there. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. I think, him trying to save it, it just shot him up there. And once he was up there, he was like, well, I'm just going to stay in it, not realizing them guys were going to close down on him so fast. But for them staying after him a few more laps extra than them other guys, you see how big of a lead Noco did have. It shortened up his lead a lot.
Flipping through the cars, guys, here, it looks like that Buck and Trout have some major front-end damage. Again, I don't know if that's a glitch in the game and they've got it fixed, or if they really do. But again, not a super huge aero track, but aerodynamics will not hurt you in any shape, form, or way, but it will affect the handling. So again, I don't know if that's because of the glitch, or if they do have some damage, but both of them, I don't know how Trout's looking over that front hood right now, to be honest with you, if that's the case.
Right.
And I was scrolling through the field and it looks like RKM has a little bit of front end damage as well. So I don't know what.
Same thing with Life's a Plant. Life's a
Wicked
Plant's all
Gatekeeper
crumpled.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wicked Gatekeeper. Yeah.
Again, I
Checkmate
don't
Taylor
know.
has front end.
Yeah,
I remember
Trout's,
one time I was racing with
Lars
Robbie.
as well.
Robbie pulled up next to me and said, "Hey, what's wrong with your front end? Did you hit a wall?" And I was like, "No, I didn't. On my screen it's clean." But Robbie's like, "Man, that looks like a crumpled up Keystone can."
Well, I would say honestly, boys, the only 2 cars that do not have any damage are
The 21.
Yeah, I'm
No,
looking
I
at
would
everything.
say
RKM.
Blakey T, and Noco. Everybody else has damage.
So
On
we're
my
not
screen,
talking
the
about
21's
the
pretty clean, but it could be different here. I don't know if K-Mac could be our leader because he can save so much fuel. I'm not sure.
The 21 has a slight little kink there on his left side hood there.
Oh, okay.
I believe it looks like that. I could be wrong,
call
but it looks
that-
like a little kink.
We'll call that the Darlington stripe. Then, yeah, you can see where that. You can see where the wind flaps just bent in just a little bit, but he does appear to be one of the cleaner cars out there from my aspect, guys.
Yeah, I would say Blakey T and Noco have the cleanest looking cars out there.
This is one of the hardest tracks to keep patience at, in my opinion, because you have to be so consistent. There's so many tracks that if you miss your line, you have room to make a
inside
mistake.
wall in the backstretch. Sorry.
There's
Smitty's
no
having a
room
tough
for
night.
error here.
Oh, no room at all here. There is no room for error.
Oh, car upside down. I think that was Mills. Car flipping upside down. Oh, and we see RKM
we
getting
got a
back
big
at the
one.
48 of Sphincter. Yes, there it is. I think if that,
There's the
I think that
caution.
was, yep, that was the yellow. Yeah, I
Yeah,
caught
that's
that
gonna
just in time.
that's gonna bring out the first caution of this race, and I think it's gonna give the boys a chance to take a breather. Darlington is difficult. It ain't easy, and it can be quite tiring, especially when you're on a wheel. Now, talking of being on a wheel, I have been watching over the hood and a few other camera angles of K-Tatty here, and he seems to be running okay at some points, but then it seems like his concentration sort of slips. I know racing with the wheel for the first time can be a little bit difficult, so what would you guys suggest for K-Tatty for the rest of this race?
Be smooth.
I would suggest just kind of keep your head in the race and be smooth, be smart, and run the best line you can, and keep the best position you can. That's about, I believe,
Right,
I mean,
and
that's
try
with
not
anybody,
to be too aggressive.
Yeah.
Being your first race, your first league night on a wheel, just try to kind of take it easy. Don't force the issue and let it come to you. That's another thing.
Yep.
Looking at the YouTube video here, or the YouTube chat, I just sent something back to him, but Bill Gibson. Thank you, Bill Gibson, for joining in.
He's
Bill
regular.
Gibson. Yeah, he said, good job in the booth, guys. So thanks for joining, Bill. I know you and Chief Longrod are sitting there hanging out and watching us, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, yeah, I've always noticed him watching, and he's a really big fan of Giggity. And I'm actually, like I said, my dark horse pick is sitting up there in third, and I think if he keeps his car clean, he's going to have a chance.
Noko got loose, and now Blakey T will take over the lead right there on that slight mistake there from Noko, so that'll be a new leader, Blakey T.
And that's how you pass at Darlington right there. You just sit behind the guy and wait for him to make a mistake sometimes, because it's so hard.
Sometimes that's the only way to pass.
That's it. Unless they're considerate and they move out of the way, and sometimes with these points battles being as close as they are, they're going to make you pass them or move them. So,
we got another
really
comment real quick, there, too, and coming from my, everybody knows me as Puddin', but I got a really messed up long last name and no one could pronounce it, so if I butcher his name, I apologize, but thanks Chris Chernosky for saying you guys are doing a great job.
Yes,
that's
sir.
C-Dub.
That is
Okay,
C-Dub, all right.
Yep, there it is, C-Dub. Yep, thanks C-Dub for paying attention.
Oh, Blakey T gets into the wall there. And Noko's taking the lead.
Star driver paying attention. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate it, buddy.
Grayson also says I'll take some of that as well.
Yeah,
when Blakey T hit the wall,
Blakey T is all on top of Buck, guys, and we got that 21 pushing, and we got a great three-way battle here. How's Blakey T going to handle this pressure? Because he didn't have any pressure in that last race towards the last 15 laps. How's he going to hold this on?
I think it'll be okay here. He just got to stop hitting that outside wall there. He's losing another spot after hitting contact with that wall.
Yep.
So I think Blakey T just needs to... Yeah, I think he is. I think Blakey T needs to regroup here a little bit. Oh, and K-Mac hits the wall.
Commentator curse.
Yep.
And now Blakey T's getting loose off and to the 21.
No, I believe that was a caution. That was a caution.
Yeah, I was going to say, he didn't hit the wall. He knocked that son of a gun down, guys.
Right.
I think
Go in
that
there,
was
get
AI.
yourself... Go in there, get yourself some 4 fresh tires, get that fuel, get that car handle right, fix the damage if you got it. Darlington is a tricky track, guys, and we're seeing it now. But I've heard it once, I've heard it twice, especially from Mills when I broadcasted with him. His famous words is cautions breed cautions.
Guys, I believe that could have been the end of stage 1, as we had Noko the winner, Buck in second. Blakey T in third, K-Mac fourth, Spanker all the way up to fifth, A-Trout in sixth, Smitty in seventh, Larson in eighth, RKM in ninth, and Wicked Gatekeeper in 10th. So we're going to re-rack them here in stage 2.
Rack them and stack them, that's right. Let's see how it plays out. Turn 1.
Go
ahead. Go ahead, Pat.
Oh, I was going to say that the restarts are always my favorite here at Darlington, to see how these boys hold their lines and keep them as straight as they can. And we see contact there from Blakey T and Noko, but they're all good. They keep a good line going. But The restarts of Darlington always my favorite, as I was saying, because these guys really show their skill here when they can ride 2x2 at Darlington, one of the tightest tracks here in NASCAR. I would say, as we see Blakey T making contact with.
Oh, is RKM's making his way up to the front. He had one of the fastest cars earlier, I believe, set the fastest time with a 29.2. Didn't do it in qualifying, but glad to see him make his way up to the front here.
And I like what Pat just said there too about turn 1 here. We just talked about turn 1 at Watkins Glen, right, guys? Now we got to talk about what turn 1 here at Darlington 2x2 because of the lack of opportunity for passing and how you have to hold your line not to get anybody. So great aspect of that. That's a great. Oh, we see that 22 going down on the inside there, though, guys.
Oh.
Yeah, that 21 there got a little loose, but he recovered here a little bit. And Blakey T's
underneath.
Oh, that's a 12 car. Excuse me, that's a 12 car.
It's a 21 car, but it's okay there, Puddin.
Another thing I've noticed
12.
is Larson in the 8 has been very patient, and he's trying to stay as close as he can to Noko so that points lead that he has don't get as big as it can. So he's doing a really good job of staying, top 5, just so Noko don't catch him for that last playoff spot.
Yeah. And sorry about that, Putin. I didn't have my glasses on there. I apologize for that. It is a 12 car. You were very right. I apologize for that.
Well, it's not very often that I am right, so I will take that one every 6 months. Thanks, Stat. We'll keep on going, guys.
And we see
Really
her
great vision, though.
into that wall a little bit more often than none, which is kind of surprising to me here because that's.
I think he's pushing too hard, Stat.
Yeah, I think
I'm wondering
fell back here a little bit.
If he didn't tighten his car up too much, how he was getting really wicked loose off in the first stage.
There he goes again in the wall. MP Broofer just brought up a very valid point. Go ahead, Broofer. I just saw him get in the wall.
He might have put a little too much wedge in it, and he might need to come down and loosen that thing back up a little.
I think it's underneath the 21.
That, or I think Blakey T just fell back a little too fast there for his liking, and I think he's just kind of running his car maybe a little too hard, trying to make up some room here and just kind of.
Well, you and I both know Blakey T really well. His frustrations can get the better of him sometimes. That I'm not wondering if that's the case. If he's just pushing too hard, he just got a little upset.
Yeah, I believe that might have been Blakey T getting the best of himself there on a couple of those last laps, because that's unlike him to over adjust his car. Because even when he does over adjust or under adjust, he's a very good driver and he can do a really good job of compensating for his little minor mistakes and still having a very good car. So I think he might have just got a little too aggressive on those last couple laps. Now we can see him having some really good laps and actually catching up here to the car in front of him now as he's regaining his composure on these last.
Now I can't verify this. I'm only going by what I've been told by Blakey T. Blakey T, quote-unquote, claims, and I might be giving his secret out, that he doesn't touch his car. Now, me personally, I'm going to call the BS button, but that's his claim. He puts it on a slider, and he never adjusts it. But that's my personal opinion. I think he still does, but he claims he doesn't. So let's see how this pans out if that's the case.
Well, racing with some of these... Okay, go ahead, Rupert.
Go ahead.
Oh,
well, RKM earlier when we was practicing, you remember how he was saying, I'm on a straight 5 and I haven't touched it at all and it's perfect.
Very true.
Sometimes it depends on the track, Sometimes a 5 will work just perfect and then some other times you have to make a few minor adjustments. But I'd say if it's handling halfway well and I don't like messing with things unless I have to,
Now, Puddin has brought up a lot of times about me racing dirt. I do actually race. 12 car around. It takes Blakey T with him.
Oh, Blakey in the inside wall.
And in the wall. And that will bring out the caution.
Nope.
No, it does not. It's a 42 car, 9 car.
See,
the 42 car spins it. 42 car. 12 and 12 around again.
The 12 is back around again. How is this not a caution? I know that once the Giggity Racing League tried that strict caution one time, we saw a very an extreme amount of cautions that we normally aren't used to seeing. So they went back to the game caution, relaxed caution, because it's too easy to say, hey, I need a caution, and you spin out.
Yeah.
But some of these guys, some of that should have been a caution, guys.
Now, as I was saying before before that unfortunate series of events came along about the sliders in dirt. When you run slider, it's very important to adjust your tire pressures and everything else like that. And I feel maybe in asphalt on a slider, those tire pressures can make a very subtle but important factor. But I could be wrong. I could be right. I never tried it that much yet, but I think some of these guys at this caliber of driving make those tire pressure adjustments that really help their car in the corners, especially here at Darlington.
Yes,
well, go ahead, Rupert.
well, I'm with Fat Patch on that. Like, I'll start a race out on just something that feels comfortable, like a 5, and it could be a little tight. And instead of adjusting it through the wedge, I do it through the tire pressure first, and loosen it up with the tire pressure. Some people don't touch theirs at all. Me, I'm one of them types. I try, all kinds of different things in the pits just to see if it'll help. If it don't, I go back the other way. But
yeah, I'm more like directed there.
Oh, you see the car get loose coming off that back corner there, guys. And when it comes to this, like I said, I race professional motorcycles. When I went to a car, I did it recreationally on my off weekends. I did get the opportunity to race motorcycle at Mid-Ohio a couple times, and in road course pavement from dirt track racing, I went with dirt track tire pressures, and it was a not good situation. I smoked those tires off way too soon, guys, so there is a obvious difference. You want to bring that concept over, but you have to, everything you know about dirt or pavement, if you switch to the other one, throw it out the window and start from ground zero.
That's true. It's totally two different ball games. But if y'all guys notice, man, Buck and Noko are having a heck of a battle up here for 1 and 2. I've noticed that Buck has just been right there on Noko's bumper for the past 5 laps. He hasn't been pushing the issue, trying to wait for Noko to make a mistake. But so far, Noko has not made a mistake. Really impressive driving, though, by these two front runners up here. And they both have really clean cars from what I see.
That's Noco Racing, guys. I'm not sure, but I reckon that Noco and Buck have been working together, working that draft and just pulling away from the rest of the guys.
Which is a great strategy, get together with your teammate. Hey, let's follow each other and draft off each other, and we're going to cut a couple tenths, a lap faster than the guys that are back there fighting with each other, It's a great point there, Robbie.
Yeah, Buck and Oko are really working together here, it seems like, and just making a big gap. I mean, the only car I see behind them is a good corner and maybe corner and a quarter, I would say, away from catching them guys. So, I mean, they're really working together here, doing a good job.
Right. I've noticed Noko get loose a few times coming out of the corner, and Buck don't even try to he just stays right there. And almost like he's trying to help his team owner, make it into the playoffs, that last playoff position. Which I need to see where Larson the 8 is, because that's going to be important.
Buck hits that wall just a little bit. Barely taps it. And every time you hit the wall here, guys, it does slow you down. You can keep a little bit of momentum. You're not talking seconds, you're talking tenths. But tenths are very important.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah, especially at a track here at Darlington.
And damage, if you keep hitting that wall over and over and over, you're gonna start having right side damage, and it'll start handling a little different. You may not lose a whole lot of speed. It's just on the wheel, your car you have to oversteer a little more than you want, or you have understeer. That's where the damage comes in, for me at least, on the wheel on these non-aero tracks.
But like you said, just like Watkins Glen here, aero is not huge. It is important though, but damage can affect the way your car handles.
Yes, sir.
And we all know, like I said, you got a paper clip shaped corner. Excuse me, guys, and then you got a wide open corner. So you almost have to drive the car. It's not almost. You have to drive the car differently at each inch of the track.
We see our first car here, and our second car here. We have RKM on pit road, and we have RJ on pit road. Those will be our first two cars here taking their scheduled pit stop, I believe, at this time now.
And both of those guys are on controller, so they're not getting quite as good as a fuel mileage as the guys with wheels and clutches, as we can see. But that short
Almost make you
pitting
wish
could
that they
work to
could
their
make a clutch
advantage.
button.
But they do on modded controllers. Uh, but I wish they would make it to where you could set it up, let's say like the R1 or the L1 button, so where you can go in the corner, you could just mash the L1 button in and use that as a clutch, because it actually slows you down. Like maybe it ain't like hitting the
Oh,
brake.
Noko gets loose and goes to the inside. Did not mean to cut you off. Just watching Noko. Go ahead, Reefer. Sorry, guys.
No, I just noticed earlier pressing the clutch in on the corner, it didn't slow me down a bunch like hitting the brake, but it slowed me down just enough to where I could just ride through that corner really smooth. And it helps a lot, and the fuel savings is just huge.
You said you had saved almost 6 laps. You went from being 4 laps short to 2 laps to the positive, so that's 6 laps, correct? If I'm doing the math.
Right. In a 30-lap run, right.
That's huge.
Yes.
I'm actually back here watching K Taddy here for the last couple laps, and I mean, I see he has a little bit of right side damage, but it also seems like he's really fighting his car in corners. Like really having to lift here on certain times, and he gets a little squirrely, so I wonder if that wheel here is really fighting him on this long run.
That's what it's looking like. See, I don't know if he practiced long enough earlier, because we were only doing like 28% races on one time, to where I don't know if he practiced a whole lot on
A longer
tire
run.
wear. Right, because on a wheel, when you get down to like 20% tires, it's like being on ice skates sometimes. So he might be
Great to see
figuring
him
out
up
that
there,
part of it.
you know, and like we talked about earlier, Stat got a wheel, E-Ball's got a wheel, Robbie got a wheel, T-Clay got a wheel.
Oh,
Patty
11's
around.
around
Patty
hard, 3 or
around.
4
Yes.
360s.
I feel like I'm out of the loop on the wheel, but just watching every time somebody got a wheel, watching how much smoother and quicker they got. So
Not to cut you off there, Puddin', but I do not have a wheel.
I thought you did get a wheel.
No, sir. I'm on controller, buddy. I prefer controller.
Well, that I was misinformed. I apologize to the broadcasting crew and to the
No,
viewers.
it's all good. Yeah, whoever said I have a wheel, I am. I mean, hey, it
Yeah, I
might
was
seem like I'm
informed.
driving
T-Clay
on the
told me you
wheel.
had a wheel. Yeah, T-Clay told me that.
No, sir. I'm on controller. I prefer controller.
Yeah, I'll be honest, in Heat 3, to me, the guys on a controller could just run way faster than the guys that were on wheels. There was just something, they could hit the corners harder. But it just seemed like Heat 4 that they did do some adjusting to where the wheel handles a lot better, and I noticed a lot of the wheel drivers doing a lot better on Heat 4 compared to Heat 3.
Yeah, I do see on asphalt especially, you know, a wheel does make a big difference, but at some certain times a controller does have like advantages at some certain times.
Right.
So I do like how they made it where, you know, a wheel and a controller have, you know, you're not going to get completely beat by a wheel versus a controller, but they do have some advantages. But
We just got a message in. It appears to be from Tackle. I think that's Tackleberry. And it says he needs to make a sensitivity adjustment, you know. And Tackle just got a wheel not too long ago, too. So, again, that's something, he did get it. He jumped into it today, said I'm going to run it, and I think that's the best thing. Like I said, you dive in head first. But, yeah, Tackle, he'll figure it out, and any suggestions that you guys have out there in YouTube land, I'm sure he would be appreciative of the help set up, because people who did get wheels had to rely on other people to help them. You know, again, everybody drives differently, but to get it to a base point, and then you dial it in yourself, any adjustment and any suggestion you all have out there for our fearless leader, K-Taddy, I'm sure he'd be much appreciative of.
Yeah, like you said, our fearless leader, K Taddy, I mean, I tell you what, he was putting in some really good lap times on Watkins Glen. And I was actually really impressed when he said it was his first time on a wheel, because he made no contact with anybody. He didn't wreck, from what I heard, didn't get loose or nothing. That really impressed me there, hearing it was his first time on a wheel.
Especially when he told me what settings he was using, because his settings were way different than what I use. I will tell you guys that Red4424, if you go into his YouTube, he has a really good for first-time guys that's never used a wheel. He kind of explains what everything does, and he gives you his exact wheel settings. And I was trying to point Teddy in that direction because there's differences in wheels. Like a Fanatec is gonna obviously handle a lot better than a Thrustmaster or a Logitech, and probably being set up a little different. But it was hard for me to help Taddy out because I'm on a Thrustmaster, he's on a Logitech. So what I use
Not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No. Is this a battle for the lead, or is
I think
Mills
so.
trying to get his lap back?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because Noko's holding him off and Mills is giving one hell of a run.
I saw RJ go below Blakey T there, and it kind of, I don't know. I just saw Blakey T get in the wall there, and he lost.
Oh, Mills bounces off the wall. He gets loose, bounces off the wall, hit first. Sorry, Fat.
No, you're good. I happened just to see that as well. At the same time you were announcing that, I happened to see that exact thing happen live on my screen. So I don't know what happened there, but that was a big mistake by Mills.
I don't know if you were there that one night, but Roofer just brought up Red 4424. As we all know who he is, it looks like Noko's making some green flag pit stops. We had the opportunity to race with him in a lobby, and not only did he join the lobby, Clay invited him to our chat party, and he joined in. He is one heck of a nice guy. Nobody bombarded him, but he said, hey, if you need help, I'm here. And it's awesome to see that in the NASCAR community, especially coming from somebody with the notoriety that he does, to come into a public lobby. And he did say it was one of the cleanest default lobbies he was in. That was an honor to hear from him. But it was awesome to race and talk with Red 4424 that one night. And he offered any suggestions and any help that he could. It's cool. And that's just like in Giggity. Anybody will help anybody else out, but he was willing to help anybody at any point in time. And Red's a great guy.
He is. He will give
when
you.
You're saying,
No,
I was actually just say, commenting with Red 2444. I'm actually friends on PlayStation with the Bear 95, and I've raced with him for a night on slider lobbies, and he was doing really good. I was actually in a party chat with him for the whole night, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of guys heard
heavy damage on pit road. Sorry.
I'm sure you guys have heard of the Bear 95. He was in the Pro League Championship, who actually won the championship as well. And he's a great guy to talk to. He's real nice. He's willing to give any kind of help and do what he can.
I believe he finished second. SHR won the championship with Smoke Fan and wore Hot Rod, and but I believe he. Bear finished second.
Smoke Fan was in the Pro League?
Well, his Pro League name was Hot Rod, and they wore helmets to where you couldn't see their faces.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It was slick and
Hot Rod.
Slick
I
and
got
Hot
that,
Rod.
but I didn't realize that because Smoke Fan invited me to a race earlier, and I was talking with Robbie, and I said, I'm going to hang out and get ready for the broadcast. I didn't know that was him, and I didn't know I was friends with him.
And I'll be honest...
It's just like at the end of a PBS TV show back in the 80s. The more you know.
They've probably heard your voice, and they have their own league, Outlaw, and they always... Yes, they always hit me up and want me to come in there and help broadcast. Unfortunately, it's on the nights that I race, and I don't want to give up one of my race nights to commentate, an extra night. I already have 2 or 3 nights I commentate, and only 2 nights I race, so I didn't want to give up a race night to commentate, even though his league, the Outlaw League, was pretty much the best of the best. All pro league guys, great racing to watch. It's just, if you do get the opportunity to commentate, though, man, it's a great bunch of guys. Smoke Fan helped me out tremendously on this game.
So
Teddy was the one that hooked me up to. They said they needed a broadcaster at the emergency last minute, and I was available, and I didn't realize exactly who was who, and so it was awesome to be able to do that. And again, I didn't know exactly all of that detail, but it was awesome to be able to do that. That was a couple weeks ago when I was in Washington, D.C. We're in South Carolina now, but yeah, that was awesome to do that. So, and I got a lot of good messages from those guys, so that made me feel pretty good about myself.
Most definitely. When I was running an MBN, Smoke Fan actually drafted me, and I actually there was a team that only had a few drivers, and I was like, well, to make it fair, Smoke Fan, I'm gonna go over here to this team, and just so they'll have the same amount of drivers as you. And I messed up so bad because now Bulldog, he's been with Smoke Van since then. He replaced
And I'm
me with
friends with
Bulldog.
Bulldog too, and I get
And
invites from him, and I didn't realize who he was.
right, he's one of the fastest guys on the game now from Smoke Fan's help, and that could have been me, but I threw that opportunity right in the dirt because I joined Jason Keffer's team, which was also a pro league driver, but he didn't. He worked a lot and didn't have enough time to get on and give us his setups and help us as much as Smoke Fan was able to. So I still
Well,
kick
first
my
and foremost,
butt
I
for
definitely
that.
have to thank Robbie Vids for getting me to be in the Heat community, let alone Heat 3, Heat 4. And then getting me involved with K-Taddy, and I can't thank K-Taddy enough for getting me involved with those guys. Some of those names you mentioned I'm friends with there, and they have sent me messages after that broadcast and stuff. So thank you guys. I didn't realize I was in a
Well, at
class
this
of
point,
celebrities or broadcasting some celebrities there. That was awesome. I mean, I knew who some of them were, but I didn't know who all of them were. But that was awesome. So thank you, Robbie Vids, and thank you, Kate Taddy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
well, at this point in the race, I actually want to get Robbie's vids point and see. Hey, Robbie, where do you think at this point in the race, who do you think's looking the strongest in this race so far?
I would definitely say it's not a biased opinion either. I know he's my team captain, but I think Noko has got this one in the bag. If he carries on doing what he's doing and keeps consistent and keeps himself vigilant, then he's definitely got this in the bag without a doubt. And I reckon Blakey's got more positions to gain as well. I think he's running strong, and I can definitely see him being in the top 5 tonight if he isn't already. You see, the problem is when you do the broadcast, you don't know fully who's where, and we have to try and pull up somebody else's stream to find who's where. K-Tatty, I reckon he's doing an awesome job considering he's on a wheel for the first time tonight, and I think he's done really well. You know, getting a wheel and then being landed with the Watkins Glen and then the Darlington for your first night.
Two difficult tracks.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
If it had been Daytona or something like that, you know, it would have been perfect night. But I was trying to tell Teddy, you know,
Oh,
just
Noko gets really loose, guys. It's just an apron. Go ahead, Roofer. I'm sorry. He sticks in it though. He's stuck in it. When in doubt, gas it, and he's stuck with it. Sorry, go ahead.
My advice would for Taddy was just, you know, keep your controller close just in case, you know, you're not liking the way it handling. You know, you can always switch over to your controller in the middle of a stage, you know, but if you don't learn and, you know, stick to the wheel, you're never gonna get used to it. So, I mean, it's a good decision by him to stick with it. He might start off tough, you know, having a few tough finishes, but I think he's pretty much locked in the points. So it's a good time to learn right now, you know, while you're not really got no pressure on you, you know.
We appreciate Tackle out there for giving him some ideas to help set up his wheel. And if anybody's got any idea to help the man himself, the legend, K-Taddy, get that new wheel, I'm sure he would appreciate any advice you can give, but he's looked real smooth on it, and he's done real good tonight with it.
Yeah, the main thing that I've noticed from watching, being on his onboard, to me it looks like his sensitivity is a little too high, because I've noticed when he goes to steer in the corner, it wants to go down real. If I was him, and I might tell him this after the race, I would take my steering sensitivity down a little bit. I mean, when you turn the wheel, barely, you don't want it to turn sharp, you just want it to be nice and smooth, and if you have your sensitivity up too high, you barely turn the wheel and your car almost wants to do a 180. So it's real tricky finding the right setup, and to be honest, you can almost use a different wheel setup for different for short tracks, for road courses, for mile and a halves, and for super speedways. I mean, it's that technical on the wheel.
And now that you say that too, me personally,
sorry to interrupt you guys, but I believe that's the end of that stage there.
I think that was it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and
yep.
As soon as they send me the finishing order, which should be any second, I will get you guys the stage 2 finishing order.
And it's interesting what you were saying, Roofer, because personally, in my mind, again, I'm on a controller. When I get a wheel, I would think that I'd want everything set as high as possible, have a realistic driving like you're driving your car down the street. So if you barely turn an eighth of an inch, it will move over just a little bit. So again, driving from real life to a video game, it's interesting here how everybody's input is different. That way, if, for example, here you wouldn't have to turn the wheel more than what a quarter of the way over, maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. But again, in my mind, I would want it hot set high. But if it helps you.
I got you guys a stage 2 finish in order, and we'll touch on that after I get it. Noco with the stage 2 win, Buck in second, Trout in third, Smitty in fourth, fifth, Spanker, K-Mac sixth. Let's see, that it's a little blurry. I think that's Larson in seventh, Gatekeeper in eighth, Blakey T all the way back in ninth, and Mills in 10th.
But we're racking them and stacking them like we've been saying, too wide. How are we going to make this first turn? Let's see if they can get through it smoothly, guys. This is the last stage. Everybody got a chance to repair their cars, get them dialed in.
See, this is one of the things I was trying to explain to K-Teddy when he was buying, before he purchased a wheel. The reason why I like Thrustmaster is because most wheels come with 5 different steering modes, all the way from 1080 to 270. 1080 you would probably have to turn,
Can you touch on that just for the people who don't know what you're talking about, 1080 to 280? Can you touch on what those numbers mean?
Yeah, that's degrees. Like, let's say on 1080, you have to turn your wheel almost all the way to, let's say, 10 o'clock.
Oh, Blakey T.
Ooh, Blakey.
Sorry, Blakey, dirt tracking it.
He hanging on to it.
He hung on to it. Go ahead. Sorry there, as he comes up behind K-Teddy. Go ahead, Roofer. I'm sorry. I just got that.
Look, you would have to steer from like 10 to 4 on a clock all the way at 1080. And the G29, the wheel he bought, you have to kind of steer from 9 o'clock to 3 or 9 o'clock to 3 on a clock. Me, on the 270, I can drop mine, on the T150, I can drop it to 270 to where I'm only having to steer from 11 to 1 on a clock. And that's just the way I prefer it. Now, he can hook his D29.
Oh, he caught around and takes
Spanker around.
Wow.
Yeah,
and Buck.
That's a big pile up right there, boys. Wow, that is very unfortunate for Buck, because he was actually making a move up there to the top 3, I believe it was.
Yes,
Before
and
that caution flag came out.
Noco had a pretty good little lead there, too. I'm sure he didn't want to see that.
No, I think what happened there was Spanker got underneath Noco just a little bit and caught the apron and then spun around, and next thing you know, the rest of the grid are just piling in.
That's
That was very unfortunate there for Buck, because he had a really good car looking on the restart there, and that's awful.
Yeah, you barely get them left side tires underneath that dotted white line in the corners. It wants to send you just straight right back up into the wall. It's very tough to hold it down there.
I got to ride along there with Buck on that one, and that was just very.
Did you have to hit your imaginary brake and hold on to that imaginary dashboard if you're watching him on board with him?
Oh, I tightened my seatbelt and I matched the brake for him, and it didn't help.
That's a pucker factor, right? That.
Blakey T back up to 6th, though. It did help Blakey out a lot. And Smitty up to 4th. And Mills is actually took the point here. And Trout.
Buck spins and hits the inside wall.
Uh-oh. I don't know if that's going to be a caution.
I don't know.
Noco's falling back big time. I don't know what's going on here.
Blakey T and the 8 of, I think that's K. Larson, guys. Touch a little bit. Sorry, Bruford.
No, you're fine. I just noticed that Noco had fallen back a little. Oh, it's Blakey T around.
Blakey T with a very rare mistake, guys. He is facing the wrong way. Not good.
Wow, you know how stage 2 we were talking how his car looked a little too tight? He might have went back in there and went just a little too far in a loose direction, or he might have just made a little mistake right there. It's hard to tell, but he'll get another chance to make another swing at it here, as we got another caution, but we'll re-rack them again here, and hopefully these guys get there. By now you should have a pretty good feel of what you need to do to your car to have it perfect. So let's hope these guys can make a good finish of this. I know everybody's battling for every last point because every last point does count.
We got MP Roofer, Fat Patch, Robbie Vids from the UK staying up late to broadcast. This is Puddin'. We are at Darlington, Giggity Racing League Cup. Rack 'em, stack 'em. Let's do it again, guys. This is starting to get exciting. I'm starting to stand up a little bit. Here's my pacing going on. Things are coming down, and every time we go under a caution like that, it clicks a couple
Buck in the
more.
wall.
Yeah, cups. It
Oh,
cuts a couple
RK around, and that takes out Blakey T again. Oh, and Blakey T gets around.
Oh, Blakey T around too. He gets smacked real hard. Wow. If that's
Another
not a caution, I don't
caution.
know what it is.
Right.
That's
Very
another
uncharacteristic,
dandelion
guys,
waving
but-
around in the air.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic to see this from the Cup Giggity guys, but Mills said it. I'm telling you, cautions breed cautions. They got to get through turn one, but
Yeah.
MP Roofer said it best. Points are points, position is position. They need every chance they can get, and there is no taking or giving anymore. There is no give and take. It's all taking.
Right.
Yeah, this late in the stage, there must not be many laps to go. It's make or break at this point now, it seems like, and I think that's why we're seeing a little bit more aggressive driving than earlier here, but...
Exactly. I know last night, last night's Xfinity race, a lot of people thought this was the last points night before the playoffs, and it actually wasn't. We have one more race next week, or two more races next week, but on the same night. A lot of people thought last night was the last night, and it was a really aggressive race at Dover. And unfortunately for you viewers that had to watch all them cautions, I'm sorry for that, but there was a few guys that thought this was it. Oh, Noko in the wall, having major trouble all the way to last.
That's
I don't
not
understand.
good. Let's see how he can work his way back up to the front then. He's fast. Let's see if he can do it. But man, times are changing right now with the way these cautions are falling. Some people are taking advantage of that, Robbie Roofer. Let's see how it pans out.
Yeah, we see Mills taking a breakaway run underneath of the 71 car of, I believe... Oh, and he hits him into the
A big wreck.
RJ Smitty going around
24.
two.
Oh.
Mills just put that 71 car in the wall. It seemed like a little bit by mistake, but that might cause the caution? Maybe not.
We got a message in here from Little Man 3D. He says, Larson, get it, boy. Thanks for tuning in, Little Man. We clearly, Larson, you got yourself a little fan club out there. Let's see how it pulls out for him.
Yeah,
we
Little
see
Man,
Mills
that's
making a way to the pole. Oh, when he hits the apron and gets loose, he was making his way to the first position, and Larson up there in the pole now, as Mills was not able to make that line.
Oh, checkmate Taylor into the inside ball there.
Yep.
And that's a name we haven't said very much tonight, too, is Chuck Taylor. It's a guy we normally see running up towards the front. He didn't have a very good run, and he was involved in some of those bad accidents at Watkins Glen. But Chuck Taylor's one of the ones we always see up in the top 5. Let's see how he's going to come back, guys.
Book racing
I'm
as
noticing
well.
Noko, he's picking one or two guys off at a time, but this track is so hard to pass that. It's going to be really tough for him.
Here comes RKM on the inside of Mills, makes the pass, nice and clean. Here comes Buck on the inside. Oh, and a big check up there by RKM, and Mills.
Mills going into the wall.
Oh.
Blakey T back that. Yeah, Blakey T gets involved. He gets a little loose, gets down there on that apron too, guys. I don't know how to say that. I'm going to say this as politically. I'm going to say this as politically correct as I can. Sorry to cut you off there, Roofer, but
no, you're fine.
But I'm going to say poop is going to hit the fan here soon, guys. That's the best way to put that.
It looks like RJ Smitty is in the pole here right now, boys. It looks like RJ Smitty is... Oh, wait, maybe I might be wrong here. Hold on. I might be wrong on that call.
I know Larson's in second. I'm trying to figure out what that car is.
No, it's A-Trout. A-Trout. A-Trout is
37. Yeah. He's third in the points, so he's really strong driver.
And it's awesome, too. Again, I can't thank Robbie Dids, MP Roofer, Fat Patch, Kate Taddy enough for having me up here in the broadcast booth, but I've broadcasted a couple of these races by now, and the Cup race, and it's cool. I don't even have to look in my notepad anymore. I know whose number is who and what color schemes they run. Like you said 37, I say A-Trout. You say 1, I say Noko. It's awesome to be able to get these down pat like this, guys. And it's getting intense. It's getting intense, boys.
Yeah, it is, because like I said, Larson, the guy who is in second, is battling Noko, who had won stage 1 and 2 for that last important playoff spot. And I'm actually proud of Larson for fighting back here, because he didn't start very well, didn't, have too great of a finish in stage 1 and 2, but stage 3, he's worked his way up to second, and Noko actually fell back, so it's going to really, help him out there on points with only 2 races to go. Like every point counts. Like me personally, on Saturday Night Xfinity, I got a 13-point lead on Habab to make it into the playoffs, with Mid Ohio or Richmond coming next week. And I mean, I'm already,
I love me some Mid Ohio. Love me
well,
some
we'll
Mid
be
Ohio.
having to do some practice this week, buddy, because I have wanting them playoffs bad.
I'll be more than happy to help you there. I'll be
All
more than happy to
right.
hit it there. All I have to say is Puddin's is Mid Ohio. If anybody out there is listening, there's an inside joke behind that, but Puddin's is Mid Ohio. I will be more than happy to help you out there, boss. We can get
Puddin
you up in there.
Puddin says Mid Ohio, and you can also say he races with his eyes closed.
Look at this, boys. We got a pack of 3 here. We got Blakey T, Noko on the outside, and in front of them both, we got Buck Racing in the 00 car.
That's you. Yep, I was just watching that too, Robbie. They're going intense.
And for second place here, Spanker wants around Larson. He's a little faster. He's actually gave him a little push a couple times in a bumper, and Larson smartfully just lets him go instead of, fighting and, having to take a chance on getting a wreck. He said, you know what, go ahead and take it. Very smart move by Larson there. I know he wants that second bad, but at this point, just go ahead and let him go. Spanker's a really fast driver. But K-Mac, he's still back there in fourth, and like I said, that's my underdog pick for tonight. He can just save a lot more fuel than a lot of these guys because he's got that shifter. And, it really helps being able to kick that thing in neutral in the corners.
Thanks again to Little Man 3DN out there paying attention on the Giggity Racing YouTube network. He said, how's the fuel going? Is anybody saving? All I could say back to him, it looks like everybody's going all out. So again, thanks to Little Man for out there paying attention out there in the world. He's trying, though. We all had to save to win last year. That's why I asked, he said. So let's see if anybody's doing that and has the opportunity to press that clutch pedal like you were talking about. You've been hitting at it all night. You've been saying that that wheel and that clutch, if you have it, could be an advantage. If you have it, Roofer.
Most definitely. It's a huge advantage. The original plastic pedal set that came with my T150 didn't have a clutch, just a throttle and a brake. But I upgraded because
boys, you have got to see this. Sorry to cut you off, but we have 3 versus 1. We have 00 Book Racing, Noko Team Racing. Then we've got the Blakey T, he's beyond Book there, and then we've got Wicked and Noko, both from Noko Team Racing also. So let's see what happens here.
Smitty having bad problems. He's having to just ride down on the apron. I don't know, a lot of damage. What? Smitty having a tough night.
There's a song out there, guys. There's a song. I know it's only 9:25, but we can change the words. The words of the song goes, after midnight, we're all going to let it all hang out. Well, we're going to say at 9:30 on a Sunday night, everybody in the Cub Giggity Racing League is going to let it all hang out here at Darlington.
I tell you what, Noko has actually done, from going all the way to the back, he has made his way back up to about 6th place, maybe even 5th, and that's a great rebound for him. He's only like 3 spots behind Larson now, and with him getting them 2 stage wins, if he can get up there and he's going to gain a huge amount of points on Larson tonight if he can gain a few more spots on him. He's, like I said, 3 spots behind him.
That Roofer and Robbie, I just saw a Wicked Gatekeeper in that 42 car. He came off that last corner going down the backstretch, and he got way loose, went to the apron. That's not a good situation. That is how you add time and add damage, but he made one heck of a save. But let's see if he can regroup and gather. As we're watching this battle back here between Buck, Noko, Blakey T. Look at these guys.
Blakey T
gets
the wall.
loose. Yeah, he gets loose.
That's going to help Noko.
there it goes, RJ Spitty on the outside. Yeah, you're right, Ruger. That's helping Noko. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. I'm just following this battle right now, and it's intense.
And that's his teammate in front of him. And I'm sure once he gets up to Buck, Buck probably won't hold him up that much, him being his team owner and knowing how bad he wants that last playoff spot. So that's another spot he can gain ahead. It looks like he does have a little bit of damage, but that could be, you know, the glitch, you know, from earlier.
Oh, RJ Spitty gets loose and goes to the inside. Wow.
Yeah, his handling's been just like someone took his controller and went to his game and changed his settings all the way up, because this is just really uncharacteristic for Smitty to have this tough of a night.
And I'd like to say this again. I couldn't repeat myself enough last night, but I'd like to repeat myself, especially since we're public right now, to Matt TB last night. We were doing a recreational race at the Roval, and going into the backstretch chicane, my dog jumped on the couch because my wife was vacuuming, and he got scared, and it accidentally made me hit the gas, and I plowed through that thing, went through the air, and landed on top of Matt. So I want to apologize again to him, but like you said, handling things, it all depends. Maybe he had something happen there. Maybe his dog hit his controller. Oh, if we see cars go to the inside. Oh
my God.
Not good. If that is not a caution, I don't know what be. It looks like the 42 of Wicked Gatekeeper got spun around again. Oh, there it is. There's that dandelion yellow flag, guys.
What it looked like to me is that Buck made a little bit of contact with the 21 in the rear quarter panel, and it pushed him up in the wall, and Noko come in there 3 wide, and I think Kevin might have thought Noko did it, and it might have been, you know, I'm going to run you hard back in the next corner, and it just didn't work out for Kevin, which it wasn't actually Noko, it was actually Buck that created that situation, because Kevin's not a dirty driver, you know, but he is competitive, you know. If someone hits him, you know, bumps him, he will be the type to come say, hey, I'm not scared to come bump you right back, you know. Not saying he's trying to wreck anybody on purpose, but just trying to show, hey, I'm not the one to be, you know, bullied around.
Sat, Robbie, let me ask you guys a question. That caution coming down to the end, do you go into the pits? Do you set your car up for that short run, or do you bank on the long run? What is your guys' opinion on that? And now we're coming down to where, I mean, every lap's clicking off here. What do you guys do? Set it up for the short run, make it handle, or go for that long run and safe?
Well, I'm not sure how many laps are left here, but I think there's not many, so I'd go for that short run here with the faster car and try and get as many positions back, especially if it's toward the back.
And as you see, I just seen Kevin Macy.
Blakey T up to 4th, but the 21 said, I'm here, I'm knocking. Sorry, Fat, go ahead.
No, I was just watching that along. I'm watching Blakey D here, and he lost not 1, not 2, but 3, possibly 4 positions off that.
Almost 5. Almost 5.
And then he gets pushed up into the wall again.
Oh, he's out. Blakey T is in the back.
That's the problem with being on the outside, is sometimes the guys on the inside will pretty much use you as a spot to bump off of.
Stability control. They'll use you as their stability control to keep it going and maintain their line on the bottom.
Yeah.
You guys have heard me say it once. You guys have heard it say it. I've heard it twice. I'll say it 3 times. I'll even say it 4 times. I've even got it tattooed on my side. I am a high, wide, and handsome type of person. But when it comes to Darlington, when you got a car to the inside, I don't know if I want to be high, wide, and handsome. You might want to be low side and ugly, guys.
Right, I will totally back out of the gas. If I'm too wide going into the corner, I will hit the brake. Unless I got somebody right on my bumper, I will let it out and let you have it, because that's how uncomfortable I am too wide in the corners here.
Blakey T, I think, is put in this position. He knows he's fast here. He knows he's got a top 3, if not winning car. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Is he going to burn his car up too much and try to make some unpredictable passes on a track that we brought up earlier that is very difficult to pass on, guys? Blakey T is in desperation mode now. Oh, buck around!
Oh, and it looked like his teammate Noko just barely got
71.
back.
Oh, 42 wicked. Oh.
this is gonna set up a like, I'm glad you guys touched on that short run versus long run earlier, because I was gonna say short run just because of this. The aggression level's sky high right now, and I don't believe we're gonna have another long run. I believe it's all gonna be short run from here out.
Real quick, now that I got Fat and Robbie in here, Fat and Robbie each have their own patented sentences. Fat, I want to hear you say it, buddy. You say it best when we're in our lobby. I want to hear you say, put her out, because you do it best, buddy. Say it there, buddy.
That was definitely a put her out moment right there, but I think Blake T was going for a pit there before all that mayhem happened, and I think he bailed out of that pit seeing that caution flag was going to come out.
It wouldn't be a broadcast situation. It wouldn't be a broadcast situation if Robbie Bids didn't say it once, buddy. Say it for us. You know what we were looking for.
I've told you once, I'm gonna tell you again. Watching some NASCAR, drinking some beer.
There it is. We got everybody's catchphrases in there as we're racked them and stacked them and going back into turn 1, 2, 3 wide back here at Darlington and Giggity Racing. Great racing, great commentating, guys. RJ's video round.
If you can hear me, RKM, I am watching your stream, and if you can throw your lap counter up for me just for a second, man, that'd be great. Let's see, we have...
MP Roofer, we're going to come up with something here. I say hi wide to handsome. Robbie Bid says drinking some beer, driving some NASCAR. We got Fat Patch over there saying, put her out. We got to cut. You got to have your own little, giggity moment there. You got to have your own little catchphrase.
My catchphrase, I've used this for 3 seasons here, is, and I've seen it a lot. People, when Noko says no, because I've seen Noko up front, and someone try to pass him, and he comes down for the block, and so that was our patented phrase. Noko says no.
I like that. There we go. Everybody out there in Giggity Racing YouTube world, as we're lining it back up, if you hear it from us, if you hear that line, think about us from now on.
Like I said, we're going to be coming to 30 to go. RKM does have his stream up for this race, so
we appreciate that. Thank you.
Count. Yes,
there you go. Yeah, thank you for dialing in on that there.
Not a problem, buddy.
The top 5 so far looks like it's I wasn't going to say top 5, then we just saw RKM hit the wall there. So
there we go again.
It's Spenker.
Yeah. Spinkter.
He got loose there, and then it's H-Route, Mills, Buck, and Blakey T for the top 5.
Well, I said it once earlier in the race, guys, and I'll say it again. I'm going to actually stealing this from one of our drivers. His catchphrase is, cautions breed cautions, and that's from our boy Mills. Look what happens.
Mills actually stole that from me, and I actually stole that from the greatest that was just in here with us in the last race, Alex Nid. I've done a lot of commentating with Alex Nid.
There we go.
So we've kind of both stolen it from Alex Nid.
Well, Alex Ned, if you're listening out there, I know you're racing your league race tonight. We wish you good luck, but if you pay attention, look at that. All the credit goes back to Alex Ned on that one, so...
Being in the booth with him has just, taught me, just sitting back and listen to how he does it. He works for the Weather Channel. He's a professional, weather broadcaster.
I just don't like it when he uses the word snow. We're going back green, guys, at Darlington Giggity Racing Cup Racing League. Blakey T, he got that advantage. Though he got in that wreck earlier. It looks like him and Kay Larson touching the cars. They're 3 wide, but look at him. Oh, there we go again, guys.
Trouble. That's another one that I stole from Alex. When there's a wreck, he trouble, and he's able to call the car driver out quick. He'd be like, trouble, 21 in the wall, but
he does it so well in the fact that he can lead a race by half a track and still say, Puddin' is going around MP Roofer. Here comes Fat Patch. Fat Patch gets into the side of Robbie Vids. Robbie Vids takes MP Roofer and Puddin' out at the same time. And he's leading the race by half a track and doing that from the rear view.
I just noticed Noko has lost a lot of positions. He's back here in the back again. I don't know if maybe he did something on pit road or if he was involved in one of them accidents, but...
Do you think that frustration level of him trying to get back to the front is going to make a difference here?
Well, most definitely with him being that close to being in the on the last when you're 11th and the playoff cutoff line's 10th, I mean, and you're only 20 points out, you want it so far he did everything he could do. He's probably led the most laps, won stage 1, stage 2, but now in stage 3 he has to just get as good as a finish as he can. Stay as close to that 8 car as he can. The 8 car is the one he's battling Larson for that last spot. So, as we
All
see,
right,
he
guys,
just
let's
got
do
in
it
the wall.
ourselves. Let's give these guys the broadcaster's jinx. I don't want to do that. We'll start with Robbie Vitt. We'll go to that, and then we'll hit Roofer, and then myself. Pick one winner. Who do you guys think, Robbie?
Noco.
That.
Wow. I think it's going to be that car in second place, and I believe that's A-Trout. I believe A-Trout's going to get this win here tonight.
There you go, MP Roofer.
Right now, man, since Spanker got up there in that lead, I know it's hard, easy to pick the guy that's leading, but he's kind of pulling away since he got that lead. So I think it's going to be hard to pass Spanker unless he makes some trouble or gets into some trouble. But Trout will be the one to do it. As you can see, he's catching him really quick there.
Just by the way,
Spanker's
just by his
fast.
comeback, I'm going to have to go with Blakey T, just because of the way he came back from those unfortunate circumstances, and I don't think Buck wants to hear that, as he gets put into the wall a little bit there.
This is a heck of a battle between first and second. I've noticed that Trout's faster on the straightaway, but Spanker's getting through the corner a little better. So
Trout making a move on the outside is Spanker or Spencer, however you say his name. Trout's looking on the outside, looking on the inside, trying to make. Oh, and RJ makes contact there with. Oh, and that's gonna put Blakey T back.
Spanker's almost given a Trout just enough room to get up underneath him. If I'm Spanker, I'm hugging that white line in the corner, but he's almost asking for.
Oh, and there goes A-Trout
it
making that advantage on his little mistake there on the wall, and that's going to give him on the inside line advantage. Going into 1-2 here.
If you're the leader right now, you almost want to pull the Jean Girard from Talladega Nights. You want to be out front, you want to be fast, but you want to make that car 5 lanes wide at the same time to hold these guys back, because everybody is coming to the front, boys.
Right, and they want it bad. It's not easy to win a race in Giggity. I've been here 3 seasons, and I've only won maybe 3, 4, and most of them were when there was only 10 drivers. This season I've only won 1. It wasn't a points race. It's just they're hard to come by. Wins are just, if you get 1 or 2 wins in a season, you did great.
It's awesome. You jump into a public lobby and you just start talking with people real quick, as much as you don't want to. And you're like, "Hey guys, I gotta go real quick." And they're like, "Where you gotta go?" And you say, "I gotta go to my league race." And they're like, "Yeah, what league are you in?" And you say Giggity. They're like, "Oh, I've heard of them. How do I get in?"
Well, that's another caution.
Let me tell you, I will tell you how to get into one of the top 5 online racing leagues in Heat 4, if not top 3, guys.
I would say top 3.
Yeah, definitely, but everybody is out there has heard of them. I didn't know about this, but this is not like Modern Warfare. It's not Call of Duty. It's not Battlefield. There's not millions and millions and millions of people playing. Everybody knows each other. Like, for example, I didn't know about it, but there's these people out there in pink cars that wreck people. All of a sudden,
heard about
people,
them.
Yeah, people heard about them, and it gets spread around so quick. You say Giggity, everybody knows that. You say Outlaw, people know of them.
Right.
So it's real. It's not real hard to make a bad name for yourself out there, and Giggity has made a fantastic name for himself, and we're proving it why tonight, boys.
That is true. Once you got a little bit of NASCAR heat, I guess you would call it a little bit of celebrity status, I guess, because you're part of Giggity and you're in the booth. This is what happens. 80% of the people will run you clean and respectful, but 20% of the guys out there will gun for you and wreck you on purpose just because they're jealous that you're part of the best league and got a little bit of notoriety.
And jumping on here real quick on the YouTube Giggity Racing League, we got Bill Gibson coming back, still watching. Thank you, Bill Gibson.
Trouble in the
saying,
back, Blakey T, I believe, or no, the 71 of Plant spun around, but I do not believe it's going to be a caution.
Bill Gibson says, hey guys, they're losing their cool out there. And then he also backs it up with, my fan vote is, I go with Blakey T, Bill Gibson. We got Woodruff Racing out there, Giggity Racing Xfinity drivers saying, let's go Larson.
Oh, 48 spanker around. Noco gets through it. Oh, man. 21 takes, heavy damage to Taddy into the wall. And I think Taddy's just back there riding, and unfortunately, but I believe this is going to set us up for like a 10-lap shootout. I will go check.
To be a fly on the wall in these guys' race car rooms right now and listen to what they have to say.
Most definitely. I'm going to go on RTM's onboard here and see if I can catch us a lap count. 13 laps remaining, so when they go back to green, it'll probably be more around 11.
Can't thank everybody out there in YouTube world. We got Little Man, we got Bill Gibson, we got Woodruff Racing, we got Chris out there. Everybody paid attention. Thanks for watching tonight. We appreciate it. I like to say it, guys. We're gonna rack them and stack them. It's my thing I can say right now. I don't know why. 10 laps to go.
I got a question for you guys. With 11 to go, do you think that was our last caution, or do you think we're going to have more?
No,
okay.
Yeah. With 11 to go?
Yeah. I think
this is a Friday night. This is a Friday night dirt track, short track shootout.
Right now, I think Trout's in the catbird seat. Larson put himself in a great position in second, though.
I wish Bad For You Race could hear me right now. I would like to accept your invitation. You've sent me numerous, but I'm broadcasting for Giggity, which you do participate in, buddy. I'll join you here shortly as we are coming down to 10 to go. Blakey T's in fourth. There we go. Oh, they're going 2 wide. 3 wide now, guys.
I'm wondering if Larson didn't take 2 tires just for track position to put as many spots between him and Noco for them points. But he's doing really good if he did only take 2 tires. He has about 6-7 cars in between him and Noco, and every point matters.
Yeah, A-Trout's looking really strong right here in the first place position. He's making a nice little lead here, getting a comfortable position where he can just kind of run his line and be smooth, and I think this will be your leader here and winner of tonight's race.
Yeah, I believe you. Unless there's another caution, something crazy happens, I believe you're right, because the Ada Larson, I think, is just he'll be happy with a second place finish. He's just trying to put as many spots between him and Noco so he can keep that last playoff spot, but Noco is coming in a hurry. I'm going to go on Noco's onboard and just see how he's diving through traffic here.
And there it is. Bill Gibson's online pick and my pick to win. Leggy T up to second. He's overcome damage. He's overcome accidents. Let's see how we can track him down. He's got a pack of hungry cars coming behind him as they hit the wall, boys.
I was correct, I think. Larson took 2 tires, and you could see the speed difference, and he was kind of holding them guys up, and one little bump, and now he's 3 spots behind Noco. He took the chance, I believe, and stayed out on older tires to gain track position, but as you can see, I don't know if that was the right call.
I'm starting to think maybe Trout took 2 tires the way it's looking, because he started strong, but seems to be getting a little loose here on mid-corner.
Right, and that could work right into Blakey's hands there. Blakey has a really good shot at winning this thing, if that's the case.
And Noco is eating it up.
They pulled that out earlier.
Noco is flying through this grid.
Oh yes, he's on a mission. He don't realize he's made up force. He's probably not even paying attention that he wants to win the race, since he's got a really strong car. I don't blame him. You win stage 1, stage 2, lead most of the laps. You want to prove that you can win the race. It's just he had a little bit of bad luck there, but I've noticed everybody racing him real clean. Like Checkmate just gave him plenty of room to get around. Mills isn't pushing the issue on his bumper too hard. Oh, as Larson just spins around on the apron, I don't think there's going to be a caution because it's a single car accident, and that could be the points change right there, guys. That, oh man,
This is brass tacks and bronze air medals time, boys of Darlington. We're coming down to it, guys.
I don't think we're going to get a caution. No, that's going to kill Larson. Oh man, that's tough to see.
See RJ here in the pits.
Oh, Blakey T,
Blakey.
big mistake in second. Wow.
Yes,
He has made
majorly.
he has made more mistakes tonight than I have seen him make in months, and that's unfortunate for him. But if he can pull out a second, I'm sure he's going to be happy because of the way everything's going. But he's going to still hunt that car down right in front of him. He's tracking it down, but that's not Blakey T like we saw it at Watkins Glen. He did it there, but he got the W. But man, this is not his style. But he's trying.
It's going to take a lot because Trout, he's really good on these. He's not a road course ringer, but he's really good oval driver. You know, I don't know if
We got Chris out here on the Giggity Racing League. We got Chris, better known as C-Dub, going. Giggity is the best racing league I've ever raced in.
that's a good compliment, man. Thanks, C-Dub, because I know you've raced in quite a few leagues. Do we? Cars are
Especially being
slowing
a
down.
dirt guy.
That was the end of the race, I believe.
He's
I
a
believe
dirt
that
guy,
was
and he
the
came
end.
over to racing pavement. For him to say that, that's awesome. But I think that was it. I think that was the
Wow.
old black and white boys and girls. One heck of a race.
What a race.
I can't wait to see the new points. I probably won't be able to give it to you guys out live on the air unless because Mills does the points and he's in the race. I don't think he can do it fast enough. But I will tell you guys that I believe NOCO is going to be really close to being in the playoffs. Now, I do
I
not know
have
if
Blakey
tonight.
T as a friend. Does anybody have the H-Route as a friend so we can talk to him? Because I want to talk to him after that race because you know he was sweating.
That was a great race.
I think H-Trot was feeling pretty comfortable with that lead he had, and I think he was just kind of out there driving his car and saying, hey, guess what, boys? I got it in the bag.
I agree, Fat Pats.
That was
Honestly,
a great race by him, and kept his composure, kept his line, and just stayed smooth the whole way through the rest of that
Right,
race.
so let's talk about some interviews. I think some interviews we should run is definitely A Trout being the winner of the Darlington tonight. And I also think we should bring in Blakey. We should bring in Noko. They had such a good race together. And we should also bring in Tatty to see how he feels about the wheel and how he got on tonight.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sounds very good. We see Blakey T here with the fastest lap of the race with a 28.994 on the slider.
I have from fifth on back, and I do not have the top four, but fifth Mills, Wicked Gatekeeper sixth, seventh RKM, eighth Checkmate, ninth Spanker, Taddy 10th, K-Mac 11th, Larson all the way back in 12th, Buck in 13th, Smitty in 14th. So we kind of knew who our top four was. So that was Trout, the winner.
Trout with the 37,
Blakey T.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, if you guys would like to bring in some of the lads for us, put in if you could go ahead and do that for us. You're the party host. So let's start off. Yeah, let's bring them all in together and then we'll interview them one by one.
I'll suggest the ones that I have on my friends list for you, Puddin'. Let's see.
Great racing by all, and man, I could not have asked to be in the booth with some better people. My man Roofer, my man Fat Patch, my home dog, my English homie, Robbie Fitz. Nobody out there really realizes that what time zone he is in. He is so far ahead of us that sometimes he doesn't get off until dawn and still has to go to work. So thank you for your dedication, Robbie.
So he's so far ahead of us,
No
sometimes
worries.
it's tomorrow, and it's still the same day for us.
He says Happy New Year and we're eating lunch.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I text the boys every morning in my team and I'll say to them, you know, good morning, and I know they're probably just going to bed at like 5 o'clock, so they're still playing NASCAR, but yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to do, and I do find it a hobby now. A hobby before this, I was actually a musician, done an album.
Great
I've got
band. Look him up on YouTube, by the way,
Yep.
guys.
a couple of songs on YouTube, just search Thunderhead the Band. A song I can help you out with to find
All
is
right.
Say Goodnight.
I put Trout in this adjusted box.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else do we need to get in here? Let's see.
Tati, Noko, and Blakey.
Okay.
I gotta say, Trout, he come out of nowhere. I was not expecting. I'm yawning now. Sorry. He come out of nowhere. I did not expect Trout to win that race. Yeah, he's a strong driver, but I didn't really see him running at the front much. But I was, going through the grid a lot and making sure all the drivers get coverage. So here he is.
Hey Trout, great win today, man. That was awesome on driving and keeping your composure up front. How do you feel about your win tonight there?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, I felt pretty good. Most of the race I was riding in the top, 5, getting as high as 3, but I thought Noko and Buck were kind of run away with it. And then, I just made a few adjustments here and there and kind of changed up my line throughout the race and really started coming out of 2 really well and really hitting turn 3 through 4 really well toward the end there. And, those late cautions, I was getting a little nervous, and because I was starting to run away with it there for a little bit. But, I just kind of, like you said, kept their composure and came home with it.
We just got Kate Taddy in the party. Give us 1 second, Kate Taddy. We got a couple questions for you. Blakey T, are you here, my man? Congratulations, A-Trout.
Thanks, Puddin'.
I don't think
A-Trout,
Blakey-
toward those last
Yeah.
couple laps, man, were you nervous about Blakey T being behind you, or were you pretty comfortable being the certain lead you had there on Blakey
There's
T?
Blakey T.
Well, considering how I've I had that car dialed in there toward the end, I had about, I don't even know, I think a 7/10 second lead, so I wasn't really worried about them as long as I hit my marks. I didn't even look in my rearview mirror that much or anything. I was just concentrating on my lap times and my lines. Wasn't really too worried about it at that time. But I know
Awesome,
Blakey
yeah.
T is fast. I do know that. So
I wouldn't go that far.
I just wanted to I just wanted to make sure I did what I control my own destiny.
did one heck
Congratulations
of
on
a
your win
dream.
there. That was a great job up there in the first place.
My question for you, A-Trout, is
Yes, sir.
how, obviously going from Watkins Glen to Darlington being a tough track also, you have one tight turn and one wide turn. Where, if you want to disclose it, where are your marks and how did you stay so composed? Like I said, you had some fast company behind you, but where are your shut-off points? Because you look super smooth all night.
For one, I like to kind of go a little bit low on entry and then kind of ride up the track just a little bit through middle of 1 and 2, and then as you come closer to 2, you want to kind of get low again so you don't, because a lot of times your rear end will come out at the end of turn 2, coming out turn 2, so you want to make sure that you're diving it into the corner on exit there, and then turn 3, you just gotta be smooth with it. A lot of people overdrive or hit the brakes way too much or something, and that's going to eat your tires up as well, and a higher possibility of getting sideways there too. So I just try to keep it smooth, not breaking too hard through 3, and just riding it through off exit there.
Great job, congratulations, man, and you proved why you should be in Giggity Cup racing because you are always super fast.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Watkins Glen, I was doing pretty well, and then just some bad luck here and there, and had a beat-up car for the last 12 laps. So, it was good to bounce back from that and get a dub tonight.
Great job, man.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
Well
I
done, mate.
appreciate
Well
you
done.
guys getting it done and letting these viewers have it for a Sunday night. I appreciate you guys.
No
We
worries,
appreciate
dude. Well
everybody
done,
out
mate.
there we appreciate everybody out there in Giggity YouTube land. We had a lot of support tonight and a lot of comments.
Awesome.
Great
Yeah,
job,
I'll be
man.
looking forward to going back and reviewing it and seeing what everybody's saying and just see where I can maybe even get better for the next one. Because
I don't
Darlington
see
is a
how you
tough
can get
course.
better with a checkered flag, man.
Well, this guy that just came into the party, he's probably the best to do it. So we'll see what he has to say. But I appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
Be
see you
safe.
later,
Appreciate
dude.
it, man.
See you.
Blakey T,
Yes, sir.
second guy we get to talk to tonight. Second time we've talked to you tonight.
That's right.
I don't have anything to say to you right now. I will say everything to you later. Again, everybody, that's an inside joke. Great run, Blakey T. You overcome some adversity tonight. Were you getting frustrated? Again, I told everybody how many times I've raced with you over the last couple of months. Kind of know your mentality, kind of know who you are. How frustrated were you getting involved in some of that just racing? It was just racing, but you went from the front to the back, back to the middle, up to the front, back to the rear, and pulled a second place out. So how does that feel? How did you maintain that?
Uh, well, it feels good to come home with a second place finish after everything we've been through. Really, it was frustrating, but you just got to keep a level head. If you don't keep a level head, you're gonna start making moves you don't really want to make. You might overdrive the corner, you might hit somebody or whatnot, and uh, you know, I kind of usually at the end I try to get my head straight and try to put myself in a good position to win, and
So that
we
last
did.
pit stop, did you go in, make any adjustments, get your car fixed,
Uh,
take a nice cold
no,
drink of Pepsi?
well, Coke's better product, but definitely I don't usually ever make adjustments on my car. I just kind of let it ride as is. But
That's what I was telling him, but I still call baloney.
I'm serious, guys. But definitely, the car felt great all night. Obviously there were some cars that were faster, but I was able to kind of hold my own. But it was a lot of beating and banging, and that's just how Darlington is. You know, but like I said, I can't complain. Came home with second place, almost got the sweep, fellas, almost. But
Almost, but
you know,
great racing tonight. And I was just curious. Like I said, I'm going to hand it over to Ruther and Robbie. We got a couple of people we want to talk to real quick after you, but congratulations on that second place. A great drive and way to come through that adversity, Blakey.
hey, thank you, thank you.
Now, I was just gonna say, I noticed that at one point of the race, you went all the way to pretty much the back, and how tough, at Darlington was it to make your way back to the front like that and get a top two finish like that?
Uh, well, I really just tried to hold on to the stage so that I can get my fresh tires and gas. But on the long runs, I felt okay. Even on the short runs, the car felt okay. It was fine, and you know, I knew that there was going to be chaos towards the end, so I tried to spend my time in the back a little bit and tried to avoid any kind of wreck that happened. So, but it worked out, like I said. The old 88 is going to go home a little bit broken, but we'll fix her right back up and take her on the next week, I suppose.
Pepsi powered.
Just quickly, guys, have you got your settings on always allow, haven't you, Blakey?
I believe I do.
Noko and Tatty, if you could check the same for me as well, please.
I was just going to say, Blakey, to you are in one heck of a race. Robbie,
Hey.
do you have any questions for Blakey? If not, we got Noko and Patty waiting for us because we got some not interesting, but we got some questions for both of them. So,
No, I don't have any questions for Blakey. I've only got a statement, and that is to say you kept yourself really composed during the race. It got quite rough in there, and you kept yourself really composed, and it just goes to show how composed you kept yourself, and you ran a really good race, dude. It was good to watch
Thank
you racing, and
I
got you
tried to
plenty
put
of
on a
coverage.
show. I
Yeah,
tried
it
to
was
put on
good.
a show for the fans. And, everybody that's out here, I tried to put on a good show. Like I said, I tried to make it two in a row, but you know, circumstances didn't go my way the second race.
you
Hey,
proved
well,
what kind of
first and
talent you
second's
have
not bad.
because, yeah, you proved what kind of talent you have because you had Rex in both races and we're up front. Go ahead, Reaper, but I just want to say, yeah,
No, I
buddy,
was just going to congratulate him on a second place finish at Darlington. In my view, it will, besides some of the road courses, is probably the toughest track in NASCAR. If they would say, hey, what was the one track if you had a chance to drive a Cup car at that you would not want to run, it would be Darlington for me. So, I mean, making your way from the back to the front like that, and I've seen Noko do it twice tonight. I mean, it just shows y'all your talent, and great job, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for broadcasting the race. Always appreciative to have you guys up there in the booth. So, but definitely gonna have to. At least we're going home with the win. Another win on the season. So we're gonna go home and celebrate. get ourselves some cold Cokes, and have a good night. So, but,
Pepsi.
thank you guys
Good
for
racing.
being in
Well done.
here. So, thank you guys. I want to go ahead and get out of here and give me something
Yep.
to eat. Y'all be good.
Like you,
thank
T, I
y'all.
can't wait to race you here in about 15 minutes, buddy.
All right, Puddin', bring it on.
Great job, bud.
See you guys.
See ya.
And this is going to be our third place finisher here, and I believe he was, like I said, one spot out of the playoffs, but winning stage 1 and stage 2 and having a great comeback there in stage 3, and Larson making that mistake and wrecking at the end. I think it's going to make it a really tight points battle. How many more races do you guys have left before the playoff starts?
With 2 races.
2 races, okay. That's what I was just asking. You know, I noticed you was driving really hard. It just seems like you wanted to lead, as many laps as you could. You wanted to win as many stages, and is that why? Because you're trying as hard as you can, which I'm sure it is, to get that last playoff spot, or at least get in the top 10 there.
Yeah, I mean, the effort's definitely there. I'm really upset about Darlington right now. There was some stuff going on in that race that just, things kind of got out of hand, and I don't know, kind of like what happened to me last season, how I dominated the whole race and then had the win taken away at the end. It kind of played out the same way.
Right.
But
Yeah, I kind of noticed it myself, that there were some guys that were giving you a lot of respect on the track, and then there was a few that wasn't giving you any. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but I wish everybody would drive everybody the way they want to be driven. Of course, that's never going to happen, but
some people just have a different interpretation of the way they want to race, and
right.
you just got to go out there and try to telegraph what they're going to do and maybe anticipate something that's going to happen in front of you. But we just, we got caught up in too many wrecks. The Global Proker #1 car, I just felt like every time we started to make headway and finally got through past 5th place, somebody would loop it on the apron and cause a huge accident.
Right.
And it's just a series of unfortunate events towards the end. I know our team had that race. I had no question. Short run, long run. I'm just really proud of my team and the effort we put in to each week, and we're just gonna go to next week and see if we can come out and get that last playoff spot.
I think you're going to have a good shot at it, man. And there's no one better in the game, in my opinion. You're, like I said, probably a top 20 driver, at least, I would say, on the game, maybe even higher. So, I mean, like I said, you're going to have... some guys might ride you really hard, because I know how it is being that last, some guys give you the respect, some guys don't. So let's just hope that you have, it's 2 of your better tracks, and good luck and great racing tonight, man.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, though. I mean, you get that target on your back, it sucks, but, it definitely is something that drives me.
Yep.
Did you tell him what your patented saying was there, Rupert?
Oh, yeah. He knows about no-co, says no, that's...
Yeah, that's the no-no.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Noko. You raced one hell of a race. We saw you have a little bit of trouble every now and then, but you came through the adversity. You worked your way back up front. You proved why you are, like he said, one of the best drivers in here. And it's an honor to not only get to broadcast you, but to race against you every now and then.
Well, I do appreciate the kind words, guys. And tonight, I just wanted to mention one more thing. Tonight was Teddy's first time on a wheel. So
That's why we brought him in here. We want his opinion on that. That's where we're going with this. Yes. Thank you, Noko, for opening that door.
Yeah, we were going to ask him how that felt. But like you said, you know how it is, Noko. I mean, you just don't jump straight on the wheel and have immediate success and just go out there and blow people's doors off. It takes a minute.
It
Right.
took some time.
Ooh, guys, real quick. I just Got a message here on the Giggity YouTube racing page from RJ Smitty Giggity. It says, I got a bumper with a few names on it. I think that's shots fired, guys.
Yeah, I will ask, however, if comments like that can be kept in PM chats, and let's keep the
actually,
comments
guys,
friendly. That'd be awesome.
I got a points update while we're still live on air. Noco passed Larson for the last cutoff spot. As of right now, Noco is in, and Larson is behind him by
1 point.
1 point.
Wow.
Congratulations, Noko.
So
There you go,
great
man.
job.
It's going to be a nail biter. I can't wait to be in the booth with Roofer and Robbie to watch that.
Right, so
It's
now
gonna be
the
tight.
pressure's going to be more on him, it takes a little bit of pressure off, because before tonight, I counted it, and I think it was like 30-something points, so, I mean, great job, man. Going
It
from
was
a 30-point deficit, 40,
42
yeah,
points.
42 points, yep, not 32. So you went from a 42-point deficit to a 1-point lead. That's phenomenal.
I mean,
Awesome, man. Congratulations.
I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, I missed the first, I think it was 6 or 8 races of the season. So, we're just gonna keep going, man. I just trying to get better. Like I said, I always mention this when I get in this booth. I'm just not a default racer. That's just not my thing. So it's still a learning process for me. But I mean, we're gonna load the car in the hauler, and we're gonna head home, and we'll be ready for next week.
Yes, sir. Well, great luck, man. We can't wait.
Thank you, guys.
Well done.
On to our fearless leader, El Presidente.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How was that wheel? That's what we all want to know. We noticed you had a couple unfortunate circumstances out there. You were looking smooth, and then every now and then you might have had a little glitch there. If you'd like to jump in, there's a couple of people on the chat who might have had some advice for you there. But how was that wheel treating you tonight, Taddy?
I've never been so wore out after a race on a video.
Hey, now you know how I feel, Teddy.
I'm also going to clearly state that I may have picked the worst 2 tracks to start with a wheel.
Hey, honesty is much appreciated, but, like I told Roofer, Fat, Alex, and Robbie, if you're going to grab a wheel and you're going to jump into it, jump in head first, and you jumped in head first at, like you said, 2 difficult, demanding physical tracks. You did great tonight, buddy. Awesome to see.
Yeah, so I was actually, I was practicing throughout the day, and during that race at Watkins Glen, I actually hit my fastest lap ever. I'm usually running about 1 minute and 11 seconds on controller. I hit 1:09, 1:09.1, almost a 1:08. So that was pretty good. So I'm happy about that. The shifting's a lot
Sorry,
easier
guys,
to
my
clutch.
dog's upset real quick. Shut
That's
up.
all right. The clutch and shit's saving fuel's real nice. Darlington, I've never had speed there. I've never been a real quick one. I was trying to just back off, give everybody room, basically learn the wheel and the track itself. And then I had a few incidents. At one point, I was actually 4 laps down. So I made sure to just stay in the back and pull over when people were caught me or whatever, learn it. And then somehow I ended up on the lead lap and 10th place finish and an 8th place at Watkins Glen. Man, I couldn't be any happier with the struggles that I had.
Well, what do you think? You already, like you said, you already turned some fast laps. What do you think you could do personally how do you feel you can make the adjustments? Like, what on the wheel itself?
So I actually, I messed up for Darlington. I kind of switched my setup, my wheel settings a little bit after practicing all day just before the races started. I made a few adjustments without ever practicing it. Just, like I run all day and I was like, oh, maybe if I did give this one more click, it'll work real good, And so Watkins Glen, it worked phenomenal. And so then when I went to Darlington, I went in and same instance, I didn't adjust anything between races, but I hadn't hit Darlington with those adjustments, and the oval track just took it a lot different than the road course did. So
Was it your sensitivity by chance?
No, yeah, the sensitivity, I turned up the force feedback a little bit more. So, I mean, when I was making hits with the wall or another car, I mean, that thing was snapping out of my hands.
Yes.
See, my biggest question is this: I love road courses, and I'm not super fast, but I'm pretty proficient. Let's put it that. Road courses are my favorite, and I'm worried that when I do switch to a wheel, I'm going to lose what I have on a controller on a road course.
I mean, to
How do
me,
you?
honestly,
How does that work for you?
to me, it's the other way around. When I got the wheel, it's easier to hit your marks. The braking and I got the paddle shifters, so I'm really just like clicking with my hands. That seemed a lot easier, getting through the gears and remembering which gear you're in.
Okay, that's good to know. Like I said, because I'm nervous about it, Taddy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't wait to get one. And like I said, I like a road course.
Yeah, and
But
then something else
that
that
makes me
works real
worried.
well. Something else that works really well with the wheel is at some points, with a controller, you don't want to be off the throttle. You want to be on it like about halfway.
Help turn it.
Well, not only does it help turn it, but like when you get loose, it's easier to save at some points. And so having the pedal where you can just have the throttle down about halfway is a lot nicer. I mean, it's
Yes.
a learning curve for sure. Like Noko said, I'm going to load up this FedEx number 11 Toyota, what's left of it, and head on next week to, man, we got another couple hard tracks. We got Bristol and Indy to finish out the regular season next Sunday.
Boy, that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah,
Indy's
well,
going to be a fast, fun track to watch. Bristol's always exciting, but Indy can always put a nail in somebody's tire. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
that tricky type of track. But
I'm a little intrigued to see how I do Tuesday night. I'm going to run the wheel on points leader there in our dirt series. And then come Wednesday, we have Daytona, Watkins Glen, and Darlington again with our custom setup. So I'm thinking at this week, Daytona's probably going to be my best race.
You're gonna love it.
well, I have an
shout out to,
opportunity to.
NASCAR.
Well, I get a shout out to you personally, Taddy. Thank you for everything that you do to keep Giggity Racing going. There's ups, there's downs. You have over 100 people to deal with. You have 3 leagues. You have the dirt. You have all the chats. Everything you do. Personally, thank you for what you do, because Giggity Racing is not only a well-reputed online racing league, it's well known and people want to join. And it's because of you and all the other administrators out there's hard work. So thank you. Thank you for having me in the broadcast booth. Thank you for letting me drive with you guys. But thank you for all your stuff, with everything you do behind the scenes, because I don't think people get what you do.
Hey, I appreciate that, but it's not just me. We got Noko in here. He's one of our admins. We got 7 other admins. We got you guys here in the booth. We got you guys broadcasting it. We wouldn't be well known. We got the fans that are watching that aren't even a member.
Yeah, you guys, everybody
Not
is
you
Giggity,
guys,
man.
we
This
wouldn't
is,
have anything.
this is the
Giggity
brand.
Giggity is not Caddy. Giggity is every driver, every fan, every broadcaster, everything into it is what makes Giggity what it is. So, I mean, I appreciate the kind words, but at the same time, it's not just me, man. It's every one of you guys as well.
And you guys
Right,
you guys do hard work. Go ahead, Reaper.
No, it's to me, it's more of a democracy. Everybody helps each other, and you know what I'm saying. Instead of a dictatorship to where one guy just makes all the rules, and it's more of a everybody comes together.
I mean,
and
yeah. I mean, I
Right.
might come up with some ideas, but we put it in our captain's chat, and the captain's 7, 8 people, 9 people, we're voting on it,
Exactly.
That's what makes it awesome. It's not my way or the highway. Everybody comes up with the best solution, whether it be penalties, whether it be point systems, whether it be who we invite, who we vote. I mean, yeah, you all do such a great job. And thank you, Robbie Vids, for getting me in with Taddy to be part of this. But you guys do such a great job, and I'm happy to be a participant, let alone a broadcaster.
I just had a couple more things to add. So, you just going back to the points thing. The reason why I'm 1 point up on Larson was at Watkins Glen. My teammate Wicked Gatekeeper actually let me by on the last lap to get that 1 extra point.
There's that teamwork. Yeah, Roofer brought that up. Roofer brought that up in the broadcast. He said, "Is there going to be teamwork involved?" So Roofer, $5 on that point.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
I was catching. I mean, whenever I had gotten wrecked and put in the back, I was like probably 20 seconds behind Blakey T. But by the end of the race, I had cut the gap down to like 6 seconds, and Wicked actually allowed me to pass him on the final lap, because I was catching them both, but Wicked, he moved over and let me get that point, but we ended up both wrecking off the corner. But somehow we still made it work, and we came home second and third. But you know, definitely with Taddy with the wheel, man. I definitely can't wait to help him get his wheel settings all dialed in, and I'm just, you know, real proud of you guys and appreciate the effort. And we keep knocking on that door, but we're gonna break that door down. I guarantee it, guys.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of talent in here, loads of talent, and it's going to be exciting, man. I think it's just going to get bigger and better, man. I mean, you know how much we've grown already, and you know the sky's the limit in my view. So I'm just proud of you and your team, man. Not only you got a great eye for talent, you're a great driver on the track, man, and just awesome to see all that hard work. You know, like you said, you're a custom driver. You're used to building custom setups to handle exactly the way you want. You're not used to sliders, but you're still was able, you know, just your driving skills, you know, missing 6-7 races, maybe even more, and still getting up in the top 12. That's just, it speaks volumes about the quality driver you are. And I mean, you look at the rest of your drivers leading the points in Xfinity with Jake Guru and UK in the trucks. I mean, you just got a heck of a all around, you know, team going, man. It's awesome to see.
Well, definitely appreciate it, guys. And like I said, you guys killed it in the booth. Appreciate you, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks,
Yes,
Noko.
sir. Thanks,
And
Noko.
just to let you know, Noko, Puddin' and DSR, I'm coming for you all boys one day. You just
All
wait.
right.
Bring it on.
We'll be here waiting.
It's
coming,
good.
We're
I'm
waiting.
coming for you.
Bring it.
I'm coming for you.
All right,
We're
that's
waiting for
good.
you.
Let's
You
go.
just call us
I
the,
mean,
you can call us the Joe
racing-
Gibbs of Giggity.
Just racing with the better people. Like I said, like it did for me in real life, it only makes me faster. And the last couple of
true.
weeks, with the help of some other people out there, Robbie, T. Clay, Sat, Roofers helped me, Ethos helped me. Guess what? I'm
I
coming
can't
for you,
wait.
Noko.
I can't wait, man. I'm ready. I accept the challenge. I mean, I love it. I thrive off of it.
There
I
you
love
go,
the
buddy.
pressure. I love it.
It'd be awesome to race with you one night and broadcast you the next.
That would be awesome. I definitely want to spend some time in the booth with you guys one of these days, but I'm gonna get out of here so you guys can finish up. I've been holding you guys up.
Congratulations, Noko. Great
Congrats,
racing tonight,
Noko.
man. And
Thanks, guys.
you, your team, all the way down. You and being one of the administrators of Giggity. Thank you for what you do, also, man. And I'll talk to you soon, Noko.
Definitely. Robbie, I'll see you back at the shop, man. Thank you.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
I just want to say, I know Fat Patch had to leave a little earlier. Thanks to Fat Patch. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Puddin', man. These
it's
Sunday
been good
broadcasts have excellent, man. I mean, top notch. So, and thanks to Alex Ned earlier for his help at Watkins Glen. It's just, man, this is awesome, man. It's fun to be in the booth when you have fun, cool guys and great guys to work with, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
One of the best lobbies I've broadcasted in. One of the best series I've ever got to broadcast with is Giggity Cups. Giggity Extendi's awesome. Giggity Truck's great. Look for Puddin'. But guys, I have more fun in the booth than I do the banter. And when I can bounce off of Rupert, I can bounce off of Fat, I can bounce off of Alex, I can bounce off of Robbie. You can't ask for a better. Today I woke up, no NASCAR race on TV. That's fine, but guess what? I get to broadcast it. I was pumped for 7 o'clock today. And like you said, great friends make great racing, and great racing on the track makes for great entertainment for everybody out there in Giggity. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
This
Okay.
is Puddin' signing off. Robbie,
Yeah. Okay.
Roofer,
Yep.
I will talk to you guys here in a couple minutes. Thanks for guys.
Yeah, see you soon shortly. Right, so that's it for tonight's race. It's been absolutely fantastic. We had Watkins Glen, and then we had Darlington. Darlington, wow, what a race. Fantastic. A lot of good driving there. Stage 3 wasn't too great driving-wise. There's a few cautions, but it's definitely something for the guys to work on coming forward towards next season. Don't forget, we're going to be here for another season in 2020, and yeah, if you don't know already, just subscribe to us on YouTube, follow where we're going, and don't forget we've got Facebook as well. We've also got Twitter. We're going to be working on Instagram. Giggity is going to do nothing but get bigger and better, so look
Giggity
for us.
Racing, come get some.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah,
Yes, sir.
Roofer.
Anybody watching that hasn't, isn't a part of Giggity, if you want to be a part of Giggity, all you have to do is get a hold of Kevin Tattersall, me, Mike Pittman on Facebook, or MP Roofer through PSN, Robbie Vids, any of these guys, Puddin', just say, hey man, how do I get in? And we'll get you out there in developmental, see what you got, scout you out, and place you accordingly. You either get placed in the truck series, developmental series, Xfinity, or Cup. I mean, if you're the best of the best, say Red wanted to join, we'd scout them out. Well, we probably wouldn't have to do too much scouting, but we welcome all. If you don't have tough competition to drive against, you're never going to know how good you can be. So we welcome anybody that wants to join, as long as they're a clean and patient driver. Come on over.
This is Puddin', MP Roofer, Robbie Vids, signing off for Giggity Racing. Y'all be safe.